Hooray, it's me! Good evening and welcome to the Dice Gods. My name is Hydra and I've got some admin to do. Yeah, there are ways of being a lot more efficient with this and having it all set up so it does the thing. I'm just not that organised. I'm just not that together. Well, you need to get other software and things, so I haven't done that yet. But that will happen at some point, I have no doubt. But until then, we have to start by doing the do. Pushing that button there. God. I just want you to do the thing. Thank you. Pause. Just give me a second. I promise I'll be right there. It's so annoying when there's so many things on social media these days that rather than doing the thing you ask them to do, they make up their own thing and they do that. And you're like, could you just do the thing? Would you mind? Would you mind just doing? Yes, I'm sure. Robin, good evening. Mike Pierce. Yeah, no, I have done the thing with the US Ariadne. It's just, no, not yet. Just, Mike, calm. Good evening. Hello. How are we all tonight? Are we well? What's new? What is, as the kids do not say, crack-a-lackin', what's going on? God, this I could have done before, actually. I could have opened Twitch and got Twitch ready. I didn't. That was very bad of me, I'll be honest. Boof. Right, where are we? Grabbing a brush today. No, I'm not grabbing a brush today. The Monday night stuff is going to be... Neil, good evening. The Monday night stuff is going to be me chatting to you guys and just hanging out and talking. Martin, good evening. Yes, it is becoming a Monday thing, very much so. So the idea is that Mondays I'm going to do this, and then one other night during the week I am going to be doing a painting stream and change this around and put lights here, and the camera's going to be there, and I'm going to be like here, and it's going to be magical, really. Well, the camera's going to be there, because anyway. So that's going to be a whole thing that happens. But no, I'm not going to be doing any hobby tonight. I'm not ready. None of us are ready. We think we are, but we're not. Mike Pierce, yes, I know. The interesting thing was I had a really cool... had an interesting list written for US Ariadne for supplies, and then supplies got chucked in the bin, which could go across to acquisition, but then I looked at it and I thought, actually, we can do better than that. So that's gone in the bin as well. So that's all good. That is all good. Conflict 47 is looking interesting. Inconveniently so. I'm already surrounded by blooming more bolt action than is reasonable. So, I just need a little bit more and I've got Conflict 47, right? That's how it works, I think. Disappointment. Neil, get used to it. That's my whole thing. Disappointment. I give that out. And hobbies. My ginger is clogged. It's backed up anyway. Boop the boop. Blissful Badger, thank you for booping the boop. Passed your whip check, did the thing. Very much appreciate having you here. Thank you. You're designing buildings and light, but you're just showing off now. You're just showing off. It's one of those things. It's like the 3D modeling and the 3D printing side of things and the laser cutting stuff. I wish I could. I can't. And there's certain things in life that you kind of want to invest in, and you creep up on the idea of investing in it, and the closer you get to it, the more you realise you're not going to do anything with it. It's just not a thing that's going to happen. So you stop fooling yourself and you give it up as a bad job, and that's basically where I am with the whole 3D printing and laser cutting side of things. Lots of the guys in my local community will sit around and happily chat about their experiences, and they'll talk about the Ouija of the doofer and the squidgy of the whatnot. I just don't care. The results are great sometimes. Sometimes they're brilliant. A lot of the time they're brilliant. But I don't, no, not interested. It's just not my thing. Just watch your ITS 17 roundup. What a season to be getting back into Infinity. Springleaf, yes it is. Season 17 is when you get hold of an entire tournament system and you just give it a damn good shake and then take what you've shaken, put it on the floor and beat it with a stick for 15 minutes, you get ITS 17 and it's glorious. It is absolutely glorious. I mean, I think it's 15 missions they took to the garden and shot in the head. Bold. It's a bold strategy. Here's less stuff to do this year, but damn it if they didn't make it work. I appreciate that. It is very cool. We'll talk about more about that stuff in a minute as well, actually. Martin, I agree, conflict looks really good indeed. Don't you already have them, don't you, Martin? You already have Conflict 47. You have already bought in. Which actually I can now say exclusively was a really good thing from my perspective, because I was looking at the starter box and I was thinking about contacting you and being like, do you want to split it? Do you? And then you did it with someone else and I was like, oh thank God, I can't do it now because I was going to buy it with him, but buying it for myself, that would just be rude. So thank you for doing that. Let's design a range of Dice Gods Infinity Terrain. Oh my God. Oh, what would Dice Gods Infinity Terrain? Actually, I have already been involved in the design and production of a range of Infinity Terrain. That is the thing that happened. And it was amazing. And I loved it. And I just recently sold it because I'd never got around to painting it. But I was involved in it. A company called Warmill made it for quite some time. We sat down and talked about the whats and the wherefores of it. And yeah, Harry, who used to run that, sat down with me and we did some designs, we tried some concepts and put some other bits together and all the rest of it and put some stuff together. It was phenomenal. It was really, really good stuff. Before we get started, I must say I'm not really feeling ITS 17. I think you either kill everything by round 2 or you play the long mission game. By round 3 is the only round that matters. Talk to you. I think, Mike, it's early days. There's certain things inside of ITS 17. The mission with the two. So right, first ITS 17 for those non-Infinity players. The season has just iterated. We've just gone from the 16th season to the 17th. The season 17 pack over my shoulder, in fact. And every time that we get a new season, we get a new free PDF with missions in it. And normally what happens is they go, we take this one out and we put this one in. You know, it's a very, very small set of changes. And this year they've just gone rah, and changed everything. And the stuff they brought in is not just different. It's not just not the same. It's a complete change in direction. And that's cool. It's really cool. But I think that the problem is we have N5, the new edition of the game, is just about a year old. Except I'm going to say it didn't really start until February when we got the updates and they sort of settled in when everything was sorted. So I don't know. I think it's almost too early to tell. I want to play some of them and see. I can see some that look like they have problems, but I'm not ready to dive on them and say, no, they're rubbish just yet. I give it a couple of games. Yeah, we are always talking about wood when you're here, my friend. Always. It's a necessity. Come here, I can win the games in this new ITS with my corregidors. Quite new, but I'm excited. Excited is the way to feel. Corgis, corregidor, they have got some... I mean, you know, I just... Did you see the new... the tactics video I did on Friday with the corregidor specialist thing with the fire team and the... You know? You can have some fun with that. That's going to help in certain missions, definitely indeed. You did buy in, but waiting for the starter box to arrive, but found a few models on second-hand website, but only got the Allied side of the starter, so I could be convinced for an Axis side split. I wanted to go Allied for Conflict, because I have so many German things, I didn't want any more. So, you know. Round 3 is on the matters. There's a lot of things overboard that you score at the end of the game. So yeah, it kind of is the only thing that matters. Like there's buttons that if you control them at the end of the game, so who cares what happens until the end of the game? It's the whole argument of going second and just defending yourself and waiting to the end of the game basically to finish and win. There are certain things that I look at that make my nose wrinkle. But I want to play it. I think I want to actually try it and see how much difference it makes. So a rough ballpark of when we could usually expect next year's events to start populating. So that will be down to your local organisers and such things. Speaking for myself, I've planned to the end of this year, and we have a satellite tournament running in May next year. Hope's End. That's going to be running in end of May next year. Oh my god, that's going to be filth. Anyway, but what you need to do, Springleaf, is track yourself down a walker, because they will normally be in the midst of the community and they will know what's going on. Speaking for the Netherlands, there's a group of 4 of us that discuss when and what is happening and how and why. So yeah, I would look out for those guys. I would say check Corvosphere, but it's so jittery and unreliable at the moment that it doesn't necessarily show you things you'd want to know. So I don't know if it can be trusted. Will there be a Dice Gods tournament or something similar next year? The satellite tournament Hope's End is in conjunction with the Dice Gods and the Brabant Buccaneers, which is the local gaming community that I co-founded and run. So we have our HQ just down the road here, and that's where we're going to run the 50-player event. It's going to be wild. We have so many ideas. Anyway, the loose planning's been done. It's all booked in. We just need to sort various things out. In fact, I got a wonderful email from Corvus Buddy today saying, where do we need to send all the prizes? To me! I'm not giving them to anyone else. I'm just going to keep them. I ran the satellite. It's kind of my booty for the day because I'm not playing, so toys. That's how it works, isn't it? But yeah, check your local tournament guys, your local walkers. But yes, there will be something. Dice Gods tournaments is a thing that I want to be doing. So yeah. My Pierce, I think you're right. I think that there are certain factions that are going to do better with this new edition of ITS than others, and I think it varies by mission. But I think as a rule, the factions which are newer, which are more N5, your Shindamutais, your Kestrels, they are going to fare better overall, to be honest with you. So that's kind of my gut instinct, but that's what I'm feeling with a lot of the game at the moment, like with the new rules and things, how they work and how they interact. The newer your faction is, the more streamlined that seems to be. So yeah, excited about it. Good job, Neil. Absolutely. I think there'll come a point. It's like when N5 dropped. My initial feelings for N5 were like, okay, cool. And then it dropped and I was like, right. And there were some obvious issues inside of M5. And then after Christmas, we got the big update, and most of those went away. There's still some bits in there that I'm kind of like, I wish that wasn't there. And that includes actually some of the stuff that came in with ITS 17, specifically operational learning can get in the bin. That is not a good rule, but by the by. But yes, new ways to play are always good. Thanks for the insight. Always happy to help. Not a problem at all. Will the Dice Gods tournament include plane tickets from America? Absolutely. We charge 3,000 euros for a return flight to Europe. That's not a problem at all. And we'll get you to Schiphol Airport in the Netherlands, and from there you can find your own damn way down here. But we will certainly sort out a plane ticket for you for 3,000 euros, because that's the kind of guy I am. I know. You won't get there anywhere else. Oh, yeah, behold my army of Sasha. Yeah. I don't know. The whole thing with Sasha, so Sasha is the exclusive miniature actually in this box over here. This ITS 17 box over here. She's great and all, but I don't think she's as great as some people. I mean, there are some people that are getting incredibly moist about the concept of Shah. And I'm like, yeah, she's cool, but is she that cool? I mean, if she rolls well on the booty chart and she gets epic weaponry, sure. But just out of the box, yeah, she's fine. I'm not, you know. But we shall see. Painting Warcrow tonight and drinking ashtray water. Bravo for painting the Warcrow. So Robin is actually going to be painting some stuff up to go on the channel, so that's what he's doing at the moment. My side that I should be painting is over here, and it has got some paint on it. It's not much. It's some paint. We can talk about that later. So, and we don't need the updated classified deck at this point. There's, as far as I'm aware, there's no plans to change that, and there certainly aren't any indications that it's going to change into ITS 17. So, Mike, you don't need to worry about the ITS classified deck just yet. Then there we go. Halfway through ITS 17. Neil, have you been drinking? I love it. No. We know we're going to get certain things back. We know that Meravision is going to come. And actually, you know, I say that we're going to get US Ariadne, so you are getting half of it done, I guess. So we'll see what that entails. What I really want to do is I'm going to do Mike's list that he wanted, that he requested so nicely. And then when the new one drops, see how it compares, you know. I tried to make my way from Germany to the Netherlands to participate in cycles. It's outstanding. Let me know when you're over. Because we don't just, there's not just the satellite, we have 3 other tournaments, maybe 4 a year for Infinity, plus escalation leagues and stuff like that. So, plus every 2 weeks the local club meets at the centre down here on a Saturday night. So if you are able to get into the neighbourhood and you do want to come along and play with some absolute lunatics, I can highly recommend it. It is Ariadne Sasha special when nobody's playing US Ariadne. Yeah, Mike, nobody's playing it yet, but she's not just in there, and she is special. I'm still not feeling it. But anyway, great minister, but she's, no, see, Neil, same wavelengths, buddy, same wavelengths. Moist waddle, not profile. Agreed. It's a cute miniature. It is a cute miniature, but hello, Lartbeard is in the house. Welcome, welcome, buddy. Good to see you, my friend. Just in time. This is what I like to. It's nice to know that you guys are planning your lives around me. This is as it should be. And I really appreciate the fact that Blessful Badger is also on Twitch, which other people should be too. If you can jump on Twitch too, that would be a massive help, because I'm trying to get that up and like all partnered up and stuff, so that when I'm streaming over there, I get all of the good things and stuff. So if you like me in slightly delayed stereo, then definitely, boop, join that. Hey, where was I? Primer doesn't count as paints. Neil, if it's paint, it's paint. I don't care what it is, whether it's primer, whether it's poster paint, I don't care. Paint is paint. If it's on the miniature, even by accident, it's painted. Are there any updates on my movie? Not that I'm able to speak about at this time. Certain famous clog-wearing stars are currently being courted for. Well, actually, they came to me. They wanted to be. They heard. They phoned. It was embarrassing, but we'll see what happens. I got the package already. Which one? My life at the moment is packages. It's actually, I think I'm down to waiting on one. I have one package that I'm waiting on, which is going to be for what's that for? Oh, husks for scions. So my zombies are on the way, which is going to be great. My main problem with Sasha is that after season 19, it's just an HVT. Depending on which faction you're in, I mean, she's a souped up warcore. That's it. That's her whole shtick. And the moment everyone can take them, it's like years ago we had the authorized bounty hunter on bike, and everyone could get one, and everyone bought one. I didn't, because no, but everyone bought one, and then we had that period afterwards where everyone was selling them. Oh, Lartbeard's over on Twitch. Hello. The thing is, in order to get it, you need to buy. So you need to buy this here. Get out of the way, guys. You need to own one of these. And these are like 50 euros or so, 50, 60 euros for stuff, which is cool. I haven't opened this yet, actually. I need to open it and have a look. But that's a lot to pay for that miniature. That's a lot. That's a commitment. I know one man that would do it. Myself, not so much. So, there we go. But I'm channeling hope for a good friend of mine who has just dropped more cash in Ariadna. I'm hoping so too, Neil. I'm hoping that things will come right because, you know, they should. So, Gogs Games, woo! Scary Stereo. Lot be it over on Twitch. No, I don't think that the treasure mechanic will stay. I think it will be just, it will disappear with the season. It's seasonal flavour. We get this every year. It's something different. So she will stay, and then you'll get treasure hunters for the other factions, like we did with HVTs, war cores and stuff like that. So, yeah. I use an HVT, best purpose, or jam it into a journalist. Coon, exactly. It's fine, you know? That's what she's for, so yeah, agreed. Mike, I think so for the time being. I think so. Where is stuff? Let's have a look. I don't think there's anything else in there, but then it's a lot easier to say what is in US Ariadna than, sorry, what is, because there's such a small amount of stuff in there. It's ridiculously tiny little force at this current moment in time. It's like, I'm looking at this at the moment, opening up equipment. There's 1, 5, 10, what? Hang on, maths. 3, 6, 9, 11. The list of equipment for US Ariadna is 11 pieces long. There's nothing. It's just pointless. Yeah, Sawshaw is your only source for Disco Ball, which is a must-have now. It's kind of got to the point where it's an absolute must-have for N5. It's, yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't, yeah. So it's really disappointing. You stopped your plans for Cosmoflot when you found out the minis are cool, but they're not quite strong at the moment. So my next army will probably be JSA A-Ban, beside Corgis. Yeah, I mean, play what you love, play what you enjoy, paint what makes you happy. I've been doing this system long enough now. Even if you want to be incredibly uber, like, competitive all the time and all the rest of it, which I get, which is fine. It's, you know, if that's the direction you want to go, that's cool. But you should also enjoy what you're doing. And if you're constantly meta chasing inside of this system, it's a good way to lose money, to be honest with you, because what I found over the years is that within a meta, things will change and they will ebb and they will flow, even over the same season, even over the same version of the game, because, you know, you'll get a certain type of list which will come up and be dominant, and then somebody will come along and go, aha, this is how I beat that, and they will change the meta by switching across to a type of list which batters the old good list and becomes the new top thing, which somebody else will figure out how to break. And a good healthy meta is this constant sort of maelstrom of violence and, yeah, battering the snot out of each other, to be honest with you. So I think if you're trying to chase down the best, you're constantly going to be getting something new, and it's going to get a very expensive hobby. So make sure you like what you buy, not just chase good stuff. That would be my advice. Does Infinity ever used ruined buildings? I have a creator that just made versions of his building ruined. No, not as a general rule overboard. The problem with ruined buildings is where line of fire is so important inside of Infinity, you start getting to these marginal points where it can be challenging. It's why you don't see a lot of varied kind of weird and wonderful boards. I have some rocks that I use on one of my tables, and I kind of have to put rules down and say, right, yes, it goes jaggedy, 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 but it's the size of the base, that's the silhouette that you can see around, which breaks the immersion. If you have a tree, do you have to, which bit of it do you have to be in base to base with, and blah, blah, blah. It's complicated. So as a general rule, ruined buildings is tough. Just saying hello, COVID over, but now on antibiotics. Hope you like the coffee. Joe, it is always a pleasure, and it is always a joy. And of course I enjoyed the clog bean. I got my clogs off over it. It was brilliant. So thank you for that. Now clog on. I'm glad you're feeling better. Who's the best is a better question. Who is the best, you know? Who is the best? It's not Pano, that's for sure. But yeah, let's not even go there. I'm not going there. But go with what you're happy with. That's the important thing. And yeah, ruin building's complicated. You don't need complicated. So, ooh. I'm trying to in this game, it seems hard to stay competitive with your favourite faction consistently. I want to win with just 15 Kaisotsu. Mike, you just want to make the world burn, don't you, my friend? That's your whole objective. That was your raison d'etre, and I applaud you for that. You see, you say that, but it also depends what's going on within your local meta, because you can find yourself in a situation where taking the stupid list is so left field, it's so unexpected that people don't know how to deal with it. That's what it can boil down to. So you'd be amazed. What I would say is that make sure that you have a list that is crafted to the mission, that you know what you're doing with, and you have a solid plan. If you have that, and you're a reasonable player, you will beat another reasonable player who doesn't have a plan, who's just turned up with a list they've got off the internet. It's that simple. So, you know, greetings from Serbia. Wow. Good evening, Serbia. Hello, Nicola. Good to see you, and thank you for being a member of the channel. Appreciate that. With the missions, I think it's not talked about enough how much more TOs will have to pay attention to tables. Don't even go there. It's not something that I really talked about in the video about ITS, because I didn't really feel it wasn't really the place. Sometimes when I'm doing a video, I'm trying to keep three things in mind: new players, veteran or experienced players, and TOs. And that was the review was kind of very much for the veteran / experienced plus newbies. I'm not talking to TOs at this point, because there's a whole bag of worms that needs to be dissected with ITS 17 before we get into that. But yeah, I think you're right. I think that ITS 17 presents a challenge for TOs, which is, yeah, workload just went up. When I saw some of the missions on there, my gut instinct was kind of, we're going to need more. We're going to need more sort of operational support at our event. So, not bad. I just took a building off the print plate and realised it has a small box on the side, only a centimetre high, but changes the footprint and technically blocks line of sight. Yes, it does. If it obscures, if you can get into base-to-base contact with it and it obscures the silhouette, you are in partial cover, baby. It doesn't matter whether it just covers the big toe of the trooper. That's cover. And that's infinity. Yeah. I've seen someone who remained nameless delete a tag with an 8-point French for an also flipper tutorial 3. Shush! Oh, these are not proud moments. They are hilarious. They are hilarious. So yes, it can be. If you know what you're doing and you know how to play the game, then you can get over a lot of the challenges that you face. Basically, that's the thing that we can do. But if you're in a meta that is competitive and you've got experienced competitive players, the ability to do that diminishes, and that can be frustrating. It can be very difficult if what you want to do is have fun, you know, and you can't have fun because you can't take the things you want. That kind of sucks, but anyway. Mr. Sexton, good evening, young man. Good to see you. I still have your stuff to do. I'm doing that this weekend. I know. So demanding. Anyway, good to see you, buddy. Are you well? Larkbeard, Warcrow, just covered. Yeah. Warcrow. I love Warcrow. I got Captain Stompy Nuts this week, and I put him together, and he was amazing. The war rig. See the box there, actually. This thing. Yeah. Oof. This bad boy. I got this week, and I said to myself, when I've painted my Scions, I'll put it together. That did not last. It had to go together. was beautiful. My good God, that miniature. Oh no, what if I modelled my tags with clogs? Overboard, you have an obsession. You can see its toes. Will they ever have cover? If you're wearing clogs, you always count as being in partial cover. It's just the rules. I don't make them. I forget which page it's on. I'll look it up for you later. Might just be on the wiki. But clogs give you partial cover always, clearly. Yeah, I mean, Joe, you're right. It's not. So the old tagline for Infinity is "It's not your list, it's you," and that is to an extent true. But I would say, with the end of M4 and M5 as it's coming on now, your skill level needs to apply to successful list writing as well, and that is a often underrated skill. It's interesting seeing what's coming up and the direction that the game is travelling. How much more important that's going to be. You're not going to be in the situation which you have been with other systems previously, where you could lose the game before you arrived at the table. That's not going to be the case, but you need to have a good plan. You need to have a good idea of how to structure your force and what it does, and have a degree of support and redundancy in it for it to work. So, yeah. Joe, see, we're on the same list. Mike, there is genius with 3 HVTs on the board, secure HVT every time, and treasure hunt for guaranteed 2 points. Yeah, I can absolutely get that. I can absolutely get that. That is wisdom. So I am well, just got off work. So I am doing well, thank you very much. It has been a busy day. On Mondays, I look after my youngest daughter, which is incredibly intense and brilliant, and then my oldest daughter finishes school, and I look after both of them, at which point I am outnumbered but not outgunned, but it's close. So I have these wonderful days where I end the day and I'm absolutely exhausted but incredibly happy. So that's where you find me. So yeah, we're good. Clogs or teeth, both. Are clogs better than nanoscreen? Of course clogs are better than nanoscreen. You're a Dutchman. If you think marksmanship would work on clogs, if you use a miniature with marksmanship against a trooper with clogs on, the trooper with clogs on gets +4 arm. I don't know why, it's just one of those things. Here we are. There you go, see, Joe Rogers on the way. Only Biovisor ignores cloggage. Cloggage is something entirely different, Joe. Dear God, how are we here? How are we here? I don't know. But everyone had a good week by the sound of things. Everyone, from what I can see on the Discord, there is much hobbyage going on within the member and Patreon community. Jean Dean, good evening, you handsome devil. How are you? Good to see you. Mike, I'd probably say so. It depends. So, Mike wants to know whether you could use Dust 1947 miniatures for the new conflict. From memory, they are very similar, as you say. And I think unless you're going to a tournament, at which point you have to ask the TO and it's TO's discretion, then if you're just having a casual fun game and you're clear with your opponent what the story is, what the score is, I can't see them having an issue. It's toy soldiers. There should be a limit to how seriously we take it. I am aware that I am a TO, run a YouTube channel, do live, various other things for toy soldiers. But there's a limit to how seriously one should take it. So I think it should be good. Too much hobby, as if there could be such a thing. I'm currently drowning in plastic and metal. So yes, there can be such a thing, but you know, here we are. At least we die happy, right? That's the whole concept. I had the joy of realizing that I had I have a tournament on Saturday that I am support TOing. So a good friend of mine is TOing for the first time, and I'm basically going on to support and be there and help supply 3 tables. So I've got two objective rooms to do. Realised I hadn't started either of them really yesterday, so that was out with the airbrush, and in we go. So that was good. So that's kind of snafu'd my hobby, but it gave me an excuse to get some paint on my Scions, which is the next big thing. We have the The Traveller's Guide to Warcrow, that series, we've had the first one. Second one should drop tomorrow for you guys. For Tuesday for members and Patreons. Wednesday for general release. That's going to build up to how to play, blah, 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 blah. So the Scions are going to get painted for that, which is why we're going to live stream it, because painting the stuff for the stuff with the stuff, it's all good. But yeah, so that kind of derailed that, which derailed, I've got an Escalation League game tomorrow evening against Kuhn, who was in here. And I should have been painting more of that, but I got I got 4 painted. I needed to paint 3 for an extra bonus point in the league. I got 4 done because, you know, overachieving. Yeah, so it's just disappointing. I wanted to get it all done, but, you know, I thought I needed the... No, Joe, I'm not repeating that, and no. Not going into that, no. Neil, if a player has issues, they need to go live. That's fair, direct, and to the point. I appreciate that. And you're right, there's a limit. Yes, Mr. Sexton will be doing more of his stuff, so you'll be seeing some of me pushing some of Chris' stuff out into the world. He's been doing some interesting stuff for Infinity, which I won't talk about because that's his whole pinata of joy that he will spread across you all by beating it with a stick, so I look forward to that soon. Congratulations on getting the mic, dude. Strange Tractor, definitely too much hobby. Painting one faction, building an army for another game, and for some reason decided to dive headfirst into Napoleonics. They've got bayonets and stuff. You want to be careful diving into a pile of bayonets of Napoleonics. You could lose an eye. Be careful. But that sounds enthusiastic. And I applaud your energy. It's very good. But yeah. Focus should be a thing. I love that. I have a very good friend, Mean Green Minis, over on Instagram. And he has one Infinity army. And he painted his first sectorial, and then he bought another sectorial in the same faction, Pano, and then he painted that. And do you know what he did next? That's right. He bought another sectorial in Pano, and then he painted all that. I do not understand how that works. I am very confused by the whole concept of painting all of your miniatures for your army before you get another one. Completely lost. Lovely guy. Fantastic human being. Gorgeous paintwork, but I understand that. It seems a little bit dangerous to me. I'm not a mess chaser. I also love samurais. Well, good for you, buddy. Samurai is definitely the way forward. And you've got Karakuri in there as well, haven't you? Which, in my opinion, Karakuri is my favourite unit in the game. I think they're phenomenal. I always will love them. And when the original lore book came out for N5, Karakuri were in Shinden, which is why I bought Sandtrap. Why I got Sandtrap. Because I was like, oh hell yeah, Karakuri, brand new shiny sectorial, I love it. And then when they actually brought out the army lists, they removed Karakuri. There was such language as would make a sailor blush. We were not what you would call a happy bunny. Happy Sasha? Do I have to call it Sasha? Anyway. Builds, yeah, that makes sense. Building 2 armies from the starter books makes sense. First thing, I'll have more fun with Oban than Cosmo at the moment. That's the important thing. Kamui, have fun. Oh my god. You have to have so much fun. That's the point of a hobby should be, you know, to have fun, to enjoy yourself. You so want to play them. Good job, Larpid. That's what I like to hear. Even though I'm kind of growing love for Cosmo as an underdog, and by the way, thank you for your amazing tips. Kamui, you are most welcome. I'm trying to do more. I'm trying to like ramp up and get even more stuff, but then life and community and family and stuff. It's just one of those things. But we're getting there. We're getting to a point where I don't know. If things keep going as they are, I'm hoping that sometime early 2026 I can get an editor to start working on some projects for me, and as soon as I can do that, so much more work we can do. It's going to be brilliant. So, because I do have to, when I shoot a video, I have to then edit it, because there'll be certain, like if I made a mistake, I'll remember mostly where they are, so I edit it and take this out at the same time. It makes life so much easier. If I just record back to back to back, I forget, and then I won't pick it up when I watch the video through for the edit, because I hear what I thought I said rather than what I actually said, and it causes problems. So being able to sort of shoot 5 videos in a day and send all those to an editor and be like, take that, I'm doing the next one. That sounds great. So hopefully, come the glorious revolution of early 2026, when I can get myself a video editor involved, there'll be even more stuff. And it's going to be brilliant. I need this point. Kuhn, I don't need this point, Prophet. I appreciate your optimism. That's sweet. Anyway, this time tomorrow evening, my friend, we'll know, and it'll probably all be over, because I think we're starting knowing you and me about 8:30, so by 9:30, 9:40, we'll be done. Good man on naps. Naps need to be done. Just a question. I know army building varies, but how many factions run the 4-legged bots, and how many 2 or 4? Just don't want to over-collect. Pretty much overboard, pretty much every faction has rems, the technical term for them, of some description or another. As to how many you need, that will depend on how you want to run it. I know people that run a lot of rems in Nomads. I probably run 1, the Vostok. I very rarely, if I run a second one, it'll be an Evo hacker. So it depends on how you want to run and what you want them to do and their position. But for my Shinden, I think I have 6, maybe 8, just because of the different types of jobs that they do in the. So it depends, unfortunately, frustrating as that is. So I would start off with 2, and then look at how your lists are progressing, and look at how you like the game to work, and what sort of tactics you like to do. Then decide if you need another box or 2. So, painting armies for the win. Poleaxe, I completely agree. Painted armies are beautiful. Painting them is a sense of pride and accomplishment when you've done it. You have 9 sectorials and about meh painted. Yeah, I have sold too many armies before they were painted. I've got to that point where I'm like, nope, it's never getting painted. Go. No scatter products. So there is the whole concept, Blissful Badger, of buying lots of different bits from lots of different armies. That, for me, creates the sensation of needing to fill in the gaps. This is a problem. So we try and stay focused and just buy everything from one faction. Also a problem, but somehow feels like less. All of a sudden, Yu Qing is now getting painted. Bravo! Jing Ding! If a painted mini is a painted mini, it doesn't matter whether you plan to run it this year, next year, or in 5 years. Painted mini is a victory. Every single one. I thought the point of the hobby was to crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of their women. I mean, sure. But to be fair, Joe, a lot of wargamers that I know, their women don't lament the losses. They tend to sigh and roll their eyes, let's be honest with you. So hearing the sighs and eye rolls of their women is probably more accurate. But, you know, once all the movie revenue starts coming in, he'll be getting... This is it. This is entirely it, Overboard. Part of me wants to know what you think my movie would be, and another part of me really doesn't. And I'm sort of stuck in... I've got Schrodinger's emotions about it. It's like, I do and I don't. And I don't want to open that box and find out which way I feel. I'm just going to leave that closed and put it in the corner. Editing is something I need to learn and taking crash course on now. Yeah. For me, editing is very much about learning the most efficient way to achieve something effective. And good editing for me starts when you shoot the video. So there's things you can do when you're shooting it to make your life easier when you're editing, stuff like that. So yeah, message if you want to talk about that. Drop me a message and we'll discuss. So are we loving Sasha more than the latest IFOs? No, I quite like the new IFOs. Bippy is back, and herself, I'm going to remember her name in a minute, but not right now. I think that was a cool enough box. I think it added some interesting things. The main thing from a Shinden perspective was that Oda, because I clearly remembered, she's a really nice little engineer, possibly a little bit overcosted for what you can get, because I know there's the whole discussion about Monstruckers being in the list and blah, 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 blah. But she's a little potent little powerhouse. You know, she's got Shockmine, she's got a Panzerbow, she's got Mimetism -3, and she can go with Senku, who are useless. But it does mean that you can take her and then buff her up with specialists around her to be quite potent. So, you know, because firing a Panzerfaust with a special die is better than firing a Panzerfaust. Firing a Panzerfaust with a special die and +1 BS is better than firing a Panzerfaust. So, you know, I definitely prefer the new die favourite box. 8:30 Escalation League with Grandstand. Yes, Robin, yes. I got your note about wanting to come and watch. Dance Monkey Dance. That's how that felt, anyway. Vince, yes, Rems are the best, but then you are an OSS player. So your entire faction is Rems. But good evening, my friend. Glad to have you here. Thanks for joining. See you in a minute, Julie. Neil, open the clog box. Leave the clog box alone. Put it back in the cupboard. Step away from the clogs. Dear Lord. All of what high rolls are a sign of trouble. Yes, they are, Strange Tractor. Yes, they are. I make the movie. Yeah, editing is way easier with good planning. It is, Neil. It's a good, successful, chill edit starts with a plan. Clear vision. And clear vision comes from experience. You're going to put out some stinkers. I still do. But there are things you can do. Clogs from the dark. Oh, dear Lord. I don't get paid enough for this. I don't. It's simply... No. Return of the Clog Hammer. Clogzilla the Stomping. I really... Whatever you're paying Rent-A-Friend, they need to charge you more and pay me more for hanging around with you, Joe. I've trolled you enough. I need to get to bed with this bug. Love you, man. Take care, Joe. Get better soon. Feel better, my friend. I do think Oda is going to see a lot of... Yeah. Oda is a really potent little bundle of utility. She's not... There's things that I could be persuaded the Monstrucker does best. The fact that it has a turret, the fact that it's got climbing plus makes it more potent. I get that. But it's irregular, and I don't like that. But it's cheaper. So I don't like any particular list or unit, sorry, that forces you to spend an order on it. I like the flexible choice, the utility. Because we already have that with lieutenants, but then you have the ability to take NCO and then you can start parceling his orders off any way you want, which is great. But irregular units, they force you to spend on them, and I don't always want to, and I don't want to spend a command token to convert, because there are many things to spend command tokens on now that are much more useful than that. So, yeah. So I think Oda's going to see some... I've got plans. So we're doing an Escalation League at the moment. Oda is going to see some time on mission in later games, I think. She will make a guest appearance to do violence, so we shall see. We shall see. I should set a target. I should set a target for this evening. I had an idea about a target. What's I going to do? Good question. Yay! Kamui, thank you for following me on Twitch. I appreciate that. If any of you haven't, if you could follow me on Twitch, I would appreciate it greatly. It's where we're going to be doing live streaming later for videos. Should we try that again in English? So it's where we're going to be painting in the near future on Twitch. So I really would appreciate any more followers you can get out there, because then that will help promote what I'm doing there and get more people to see what I'm doing. So that would be phenomenal. FGO with mine layer 10 to Sasha. Yeah, I mean, I think with regards to Sasha, she's a cool unit, but honestly, with the utility and the way that she can score inside of ITS 17, she's just going to be a bullet magnet. It's going to be warheads on foreheads. She's just going to get nuked from orbit, to be honest with you. Which is, you know, I mean, it's a good way of sucking away an order from your opponent if they feel they have to shoot the Sasha. But I'm so aware of the fact that I'm saying Saoirse or whatever, because he's Saoirse or something. Somebody was saying the other day. It's not actually Sasha, it's Saoirse or something. I don't know. Say it like the Irish. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not feeling as much love for her as some people do. Doing a little reading. Am I right to assume that combined army is soldiers from a bunch of factions? Is this accurate? They sound OP. So the lore when it comes to the Combined Army is essentially, I love the lore of Combined. I find it hilarious. So a little sidebar for a minute. So essentially the hegemony of I think is their original name, wanted to transcend reality. And this, I'm doing this from memory, so pinch of salt, people. But so they created an AI to figure out how to transcend our reality and move beyond this realm. It did. It figured it out. It found them to be completely lacking in being worthy of going with it, and transcended itself and left them behind. This was not ideal. They were a little bit cross, slightly miffed. So instead, they created an EI, an evolved intelligence, which they tasked with doing the same thing. It wasn't quite as clever, it wasn't quite as capable. And what it resolved was that the best way to do this was to absorb other cultures and find out what they knew about transcendence, and then learn from them and then build this whole picture, and eventually it would get there. So then they went completely batshit bonkers and charged off across the universe, taking over everybody they could. Join us or die. Join us and die. Die and join us. These were kind of the options you had on the tick list. So what you find in Combined Army is these species that have been taken over by the hegemony of I think that's right, and have decided to come to, basically. So you have all these different species and creatures and animals and whatnots that have joined in, all part of this soup, and are all part of Combined Army. So it means that the separate parts, the separate sectorials inside of Combined are very, very different in their feel, even by comparison to other armies, because Shazvasti are not the same as Morats. I mean, sneaky space lizards versus pissed off space monkeys. That's the comparison there. They're not the same thing. So yeah, it does mean that the sectorials overboard in Combined Army are very different in the way that they feel, and very different in the way they play, more so than most other armies other than Ariadna, I would argue. But that's a story for another day. Yes. Yay! Snivian, thank you for following me on Twitch. I appreciate that. That is awesome. You're a legend. Genuinely fantastic human being. And courtesy of the Dice Gods, in your next game of Infinity or associated board game, a critical success will be achieved on us. Appreciate that. Just don't ask which one it is, but one of them will be a gift. Everyone loves space monkeys. Yes, they do. Well, it depends, actually. If they're facing them, not so much. Snivian, yeah. Woo! Free crits. Combined Army sounds like the Borg. Yeah, I get that. I hadn't thought about that before, but there is a Borgish element to them. That is absolutely true. Yeah. No denying it. So it's an interesting concept, and it's an interesting motivation to have them like wanting to transcend, and therefore gathering everyone together and be like, come on everybody, let's go. Or die. Which is slightly, not so lovely. One of us. This is it. So I do like the fluff inside of Infinity. It is cool. It could do with more. It could do with more depth. It feels sometimes a little, because of the way you deliver it, it can sometimes feel a little bit surface level, but it is. Why would Corvus Belli remove the best faction when M5 came out? If Harry Adams was clearly too good. Overboard, bless you. Oh, sausage, that is clearly correct. They just looked at US Ariadna and went, can't touch that. No. I've harped on about this repeatedly, many times, too many times, but I do feel like the structure changes that happened in M4 and M5 hit Ariadna more heavily than they did other factions. So when we gained our 15 trooper limit effective inside of N4, that really hurt Ariadne. You know, when you're used to running 20, 25 troopers, suddenly being restricted to 15 was just like, oh, that's a problem. And where we had all these fantastically really cheap troopers that we could run previously, now if you did that, which was kind of the point, then you didn't use enough points to fill out your roster. You had too many points left over. But on, thank you, Mike, for joining and following on Twitch. Appreciate that. Very, very kind. OMG, indeed, OMG. Thank you very much. You're a legend. You've got me over my first target on Twitch. That's amazing. Cheers, buddy. So yeah, when that change happened, it really impacted the way that Ariadne needed to be done, and I feel like it never really found its place, it never really found its feet in N4, because the mechanic was spamming cheap stuff, and you couldn't really do that anymore. So it was a bit disappointing. It was an opportunity that was missed. And somewhere around here, just give me a second, I'm looking something up, because I tripped across a whole bunch of lists the other day from like N3. Didn't mean to store them, I just did. So I'm wondering whether I know where they are. I probably don't. That would, oh, hang on. Lists, what's this? N3 lists. Oh my good God. My goodness. Test list for tagline. So tagline was OTS 8, so 9 years ago. That's exciting. Pano. 300, what's this? No, that's hack. It's a hack list. Dear God. Oh, ASA lists. I'm not ready to open those. It's too soon. It's too soon. No, I don't have any of my old Ariadne lists, otherwise I'd show you, because some of those were stupid. Glorious, don't get me wrong, absolutely glorious, but absolutely stupid. This might be one though. For some reason there's a whole lot of hack, which I didn't play a lot of. Hack and Shock Army of Cemento. I'm opening a Shock Army list, there may be tears. There it is. Lieutenant Stephen Rao, Lieutenant Stephen Rao. If you know, you know. That is a glorious Shock Army list of Doom. Oh, a core fire team and anyway, I'm coming back. I'm getting misty over here. But yeah, so you would frequently find yourself with 20 plus miniatures in a Ariadne list, and now you can't do that, and it just really ripped them out. Do you like the limited format, or would you like to see future changes to certain factions, like being able to run more numbers? Mike, thank you so much. Sorry, babe, got to drop off. Thanks for the stream. You're welcome, Mike. Blissful Badger. Woo! That's for the Twitches amongst us. Twitches? That's probably not right. So, do I like the limited format of N4, N5? Would you like to see the future changes to certain factions being able to run more numbers? Well, are you sitting comfortable? I have, look, I did work. I had lists of stuff that I was going to talk to you guys about tonight. I was going to run a thing with goals on YouTube. I haven't done any of that yet. You keep poking the bear and making him talk. It's a problem. So, what do I think? What do I think? There are times when Corvus Belli releases rules that I feel are reactionary to, and this may be controversial, and some of you may find this difficult to believe, but there are some people that bitch on the internet, and they do it very loudly. I mean, they complain. And they go on and they go on and they waffle and they just, you know, they get the whole mass of negativity and they vomit it over everything. I'm not going to go as far as the Team America analogy here, but yeah, we're there. And I feel that sometimes those people scream enough in Corvus Belli's face that they make changes, and this was one of them for me. Bench gamer. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I get it. From their perspective, if you've got people grabbing you by the throat and going ah! in your face about a thing, eventually you go, fine, and you fix it. But the thing was, you didn't see from many factions huge lists. It was only specific factions where it was necessary, where it was their flavour, you know? Running a Mirror Vision list with 20-25 miniatures in it was absolutely fine. The problem you had was some newbies would do that. They'd come in and they would get 20-25 miniatures and they'd stand at the edge of the board opposite you, scratching their head for half an hour, trying to remember which camo marker was which, let alone making a decision. And in a tournament situation where you are limited on time, you just can't do that. You have to know how to play your list efficiently and quickly. If you're going to bring that many orders, you're going to bring that many miniatures, you need to be on top of your game. And if you're new, you're not. So you've got people that had bad experiences from that side of things. You also had people who had bad experiences at tournaments because Mr. 20-25 orders in their list would see that things were going badly and slow the hell down. And they would slow play. For clarity, in N2 and N3, I can think of one person I saw do that in front of me, briefly, before they got very cross TO in their ear, and anecdotally another 2 people. So I saw 3 people in all the years that N3 was around, and the years that I was playing N2, that did that. So it wasn't really an issue, but people heard that and went, oh, no! And so we got this limit. I don't think it was a great thing. I think that when that happened, we lost the flavour for Ariadne. I think that its whole shtick went out the window. And it was a shame, and it was unnecessary. But this is where we are now. This is our new reality. This is just it. So it's a shame. Yes, we did get shafted. That is absolutely, and they didn't even sand it first. It still had splinters. It was not appreciated. I never played that game, tournament game. Okay, overboard. Yeah, it's not just about tournaments, but tournaments give this very condensed game experience where if a game has issues, if a game has challenges, then they show up there because you play 3 games or however many games in the same day, back to back. So if you can see something that you may miss, you may play a game once every 2 weeks and you play it and you're like, well, was that a problem? I don't think so. And then you go back in 2 weeks and you're like, what's that? I had the same problem last time? I can't remember. If you're playing them back to back, you're like, right, well that sucked. Oh, it's just happened again. Hang on a second. Oh, no, that is an issue. Tournament play does give you that, and also it tends to be competitive. You have this stuff around the place that you're trying to win, and your global rankings, and you have that position that you want. So if somebody is in front of you and you can't win because you score at the end of every round, and Sammy Slowface in front of you is only going to let you get to turn 2, you can't score maximum points because you never played turn 3. That's frustrating as well. That's very frustrating to lose points, position, ranking, opportunity to place in an event because the guy in front of you couldn't play his army well. Get it? Totally understand it. Totally appreciate it. But that is not a reason to nerf an entire faction out of existence. That was a miscalculation, in my opinion. They've stuck with it. Fair enough. It doesn't mean to say that I think they're right. Thank you for coming to my tech clock. Chess clocks. Oof. Oh, chess clocks. I get the chess clock argument. I do. I have this weird thing. I have this really weird thing about Infinity. We should be better than that. We should be. You should be able to play your list quickly. If you're playing a 2-hour game at a tournament, you should be able to play your 3 rounds and your deployment in an hour. Yeah, that's the expectation of when you arrive at the tournament. You can do that by submitting that list, by saying you're coming to the event, you're saying you're going to do it. Chess clocks put in for me, a layer of, what's the right way of putting it? It takes away the agency of the players. It says you're a bit of an idiot and we can't trust you. And we should, as a community, be better than that. I would rather see that we supported new players to play quickly and efficiently. And I would rather see that we self-policed to correct people who deliberately slow play. That would be my wish. That would be how I'd like to see it work, because I think that is a more productive way than sticking chess clocks and everything. Because yes, it guarantees you your hour, assuming that, because you have the other issue of, right, arrows. I declare, I spending the order on this guy, first movement skill, click, right, I put the clock back to you because you've now got to declare arrows. Oh, I'm going to declare this, click back to you, right, cool, second short skill, second ability, this, click back to you, any arrows, no, click back. It's chess clock tennis inside of Infinity, because you have these things that go backwards and forwards. So, yeah, it's just a problem. So, Larkbeard, Twitch, we had a slow player, he was not new, just measured everything again and again and again and again and again. Ugh. Right, if you get somebody who is a slow player and is not going to change, that is when a TO needs to step in and have a conversation with them about, you are giving a negative play experience. I'm happy for you to play casually, but if you can't speed up, that's going to effectively disqualify you from playing at a tournament. That would be the way that I deal with it, and try and encourage them to get quicker. It wouldn't necessarily work, because it won't with everybody, but just something about the concept of, yeah, I don't see it that much, to be honest with you, Mike. But then you can only go by your own meta, and that's always the issue. And I make a habit, especially at tournaments, of saying to people, you have this long left. This is roughly where you should be in your game. Especially normally within the first game, because you should have 15 minutes each for deployment. When they've been at the table half an hour, I will call out and say, you should be done with your deployment now. You should be onto your first turn. And that does tend to focus people down and get their heads in the right place. You see some people are like, yeah, no, we're about right. We'll keep playing as we are, because they are in their first turn. And then you get other people go, oh my God. Mm-hmm. You have time to correct that. Now get on with it. But yeah, I know, excuse me, I am lucky with my local community, so. Yeah, no, you're right, Strange Director. I don't know, I feel in some way it's condescending to players. I hoped we're better. That's what it comes down to. I want more from us, guys. I expect more. We shouldn't do that. We shouldn't need this. Getting emotional. Anyway, yeah, no, I get that, Strange Director, and it's wisdom. It is wisdom. How long does the game take at home versus at a tournament, and which one is more fun? I don't mind long games as long as they're fun. At home, you could also do a mercy rule and maybe start another game. It depends. It depends. I need a song for that. I need a button for that. So at home, I've known games take 3 hours for the first turn. Normally with new players, just chill. I've known games take 2 hours for the first game because it was a good friend and we were talking absolute rubbish. So it varies, but as to which is better, whichever one is the most fun. You know, I mean, it depends what you're going into it. There are different experiences. Within a tournament environment, you are challenging yourself to play your best game. You are challenging yourself to be competitive and to beat the person on the other side of the table from you. It is a much more focused, intensive environment. I try and play 3 ways. When it's friends, I try and play fun, often, if I can, stupid stuff, just trying stuff out. With escalation leagues, longer term leagues, I tend to be a sort of medium casual. I'll occasionally go a little bit competitive and be like, haha, buff. But for the most part, I try and play it chill because it's just a bit of fun. But if I'm at a 1 or 2 day tournament, then yeah, I'm going loaded for bear. This is ranked, this is ELO, this is going into the system for Corvus Belli. The world will see this, and my God, I shall shine as far as I possibly can. So, yeah, it varies. It's what you want to get out of the game. As long as what you're aiming for is what you're getting, everything's good. We're all good. Blissful Badger. I know people go to tournaments to get games in as well. Sometimes a split between trying to win and just looking for games. Yeah, I get that, and it's what you want from it. It's what you want to do. I've known people that go to tournaments to take the stupid stuff to do very focused, compressed testing. Why not? Does this list work? Right, nope, it didn't. I'll take my second list. Does that work? Nope, that doesn't. Okay, let's try a different tactic with the first list. And hey, all legitimate. You should always play the way that you want to, and you should always know what you want from the game. You know, that's what I love about Infinity. We can be fluffy with it. We can do like I'm hearing from the local community, the Manhunter event from Warsenal was amazing by all accounts. Very fluffy, really interesting, really unique way to play. You can do that kind of thing with Infinity. It does that. You can do, in theory, long-term leagues. We have a narrative type of thing. I'm planning one of those for my local community for the start of next year. And just building that up over a period of time, and board control and buffs and debuffs and story and narrative, blah, 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 blah. All kinds of fun stuff you can do with that. You can do the casual. You can do, to an extent, beer and pretzels. When you know the rules, you can beer and pretzels this game. And they can be ultra competitive, you can be semi-competitive. It's up to you. There's a lot of space, a little wiggle room inside of Infinity to play it how you want to. But just make sure the other person on the other side of the table is on the same level. I have had a few games in the past year where I've been like, right, I've come with the fluffy stuff, and my opponent has just unleashed hell at me, and I've been like, oh, we were not on the same level here at all. Well, that's good to know. It happens. We have club games that, exactly, they vary massively. They should do. It's healthy to have a variety. In time, more tag friendly. We did a tournament here where you got buffs for taking more tags. That was a lot of fun. That was stupid, but a lot of fun. Sometimes it seems like tournaments are really learn to play days in some communities that don't play enough regularly. I think there's wisdom to that, and I think there's wisdom to do it actually that way. Like the same thing with seeing where a game is broken. You can learn the way that a game works more successfully by playing multiple games on the same day. Simple as. So, and I've seen that we end of November we have a newbie tournament, which will be very much a group of trusted veterans, a bunch of newbies. I think we have 8 or 10, maybe as many as that we should have newbies in. I'm going to put some veterans in. It's going to be competitive from the perspective of there'll be prizes and there'll be a tournament pack, but it won't be going into ITS. It won't be submitted. So there's no kind of pressure from the veterans to win, because otherwise, you plummet. None of that rubbish. Not doing that. And just learn, help them play, get them in the experience of being in that kind of environment. So if you walk in with clogs on, they're in trouble. If I walk in with my black leather clogs with the studs in the bottom, they're in trouble. Everyone's in trouble then. That's because I have a fancy pair of shoes. I always have a fancy pair of shoes on, darling. Sometimes even with heels. What's on my list? Do we care what I have to talk about? Do you even care? None of you care. That's not what you're here for. You're here to abuse me about clogs and talk about random stuff. Which is no bad thing. which is no bad thing. Well, first we're going to set up that goal, because I had a goal. I have a goal. It's probably inappropriate. It is for an hour. I'd love, so you can set up a goal on the side of YouTube, and if you set up the goal on the side of YouTube, it suggests things you should put in there, and it says, share how you'll celebrate for hitting your goal. And it suggests, I'll host a Q&A session. It's what this whole damn thing is, so that's not going to be worth anything for anyone, is it? So I need to figure out where, oh, there it is. Now where the frag is, hang on, we're going to get technical for a second. I need a freaking, that one there. I don't know if that's how we write this, but this is how we're doing it. So what I'm going to do tonight is we're going to do 15 super chats of 66, yes, that's right, €6 or more. And when we hit that, then I'm going to give away either a Warsaw voucher for you guys in the US or a Load and Miniatures voucher for the guys in Europe. If a UK guy wins, we'll figure something out. So then anyone that does the super chats starting from now will get entered into the thing. And if you do the thing and you win the thing, then you can get the stuff to things. Read the thing. Anyway, Robin, you're going to sign off. Papa Day is over and you're spent. I bet you are, my friend. I bet you are. Is this the part where Hydra gives away a Sasha? Win Sasha now. Now this is for the tournament on Saturday. So if I give that away, there'll be many upset people. We're not doing that. Clogs Q&A session. You can ask me anything about clogs. I know nothing. They're wood, the outside stuff. Yeah, anyway. Should there be 2 levels of organised play? There is wisdom to that, Mike. You are super chatty. Thank you so much. It's €6. Is that the same? I don't know if that's the same. It is. Brilliant. Awesome. Good to know. I'm here for the good content, other shenanigans. Okay, thank you very much. You're going to make it awkward. Don't make me flip you off on chat. Anyway, no, true. I'm here for the good content, other shenanigans. Oh, it went dark. Q&A depends on what it stands for. I might be in the wrong stream. Question and answer. That's what Q&A stands for. Everything else is on my Only Dice channel. BB. So, what are we going to talk about today? Hang on, where am I at? Where's my do for back? Any ideas about making a treasure token? I have many ideas about making a treasure token. Larkbeard asked if there are any ideas about making a treasure token. What I want is, we're going to come back to my list in a minute. What I want on my treasure token is, hang on, I've shared this with the locals already. No one picked up the hint. Right. What I want is, I need to turn the colour on this. I want, that's a terrible picture, but we're doing it. Right, where's my stuff and things? There's me. I want that guy from Indiana Jones. This guy just here, that little guy. I want one of those. I want one of those on a little stand. That would be brilliant. Super flip off chat. Yes, it is. That's what I want for my treasure. Just sat on a little stand, so you can take that. That would be brilliant. We have unofficial tournaments in Sphere for less competitive. Okay, good to know. Yeah, I think I've seen that, but Corvus Sphere is not making me happy anywhere appropriate at the moment. We'll talk about that one. See, Larbit, isn't that genius? The Indiana Jones dude? That would be fab. I would love that. How about a tiny chocolate bar with golden ticket? Equally phenomenal. Although if I had a tiny little chocolate bar constantly on the board in front of me, I'd be like, oof, I could do with a bar, because that's how I am. I'm thinking of a Fabergé Ek on a plinth with a clear dome over it. See, the thing is, Neil, if anyone else suggested that for their treasure token they were going to make a Fabergé egg on a plinth with a clear dome over it, I would say, of course you will, sweetheart. Good luck with that. With you, I'm only vaguely disappointed there aren't lights in there in a laser show. It's just, is that all you can muster? Just a plinth and an egg? Honestly, you're not even trying. But if you haven't, Neil's like work that he does with stuff and things for terrain is peak. Absolutely peak. Love his work. Phenomenal. So, what were we going to talk about tonight? We can do super chats. I've done that now. Good. Tick. Tournament preparation. Ah, yes, tournament preparation. Oh my goodness me. So we have a tournament this weekend. 16 man possibly. Why possibly? Because Corvosphere is just at the moment that is not working, and I've run tournaments without having access to a OTM, a tournament manager type system, which is good because I've got a horrible feeling this weekend I'm going to need it again. I'm going to need that skill set again. Corvosphere just isn't working very well. Made for IGW is on Sphere. The park. Larkbeard, I would check out the park on Sphere. Thank you. Don't tempt me to make a security laser grid. I need to see a security laser grid. I'm disappointed you haven't already done it. Right, so yeah, Corvosphere, we're having all kinds of issues at the moment. When you're trying to submit lists, it's not working. We're getting people that are registering twice. I've got multiple people that are logged and registered for the tournament twice. People who aren't registered at all, but they've said that they are, which I believe them. The system isn't showing me. It's a complete poop show at the moment, which is just not helping. And live testing, if you're not familiar with Corvosphere, it's the replacement for OTM. OTM is the tournament manager, so it's where you go and you register for an Infinity tournament, and then you submit your list, and the TO can see who's done that, and then on the day you use that platform to pair people, which is done on their past performance as well as their performance in this event. And then you submit all your ratings and rankings through there, and then it goes back to Corvosphere and they do all the stuff. So it's a really integral piece of equipment. It's essential to running these events, and it's just not working. It's just not working at all at the moment. It's absolutely doing my head in. And it's really frustrating. So it feels like we're being tested on live, which is not a warm, fuzzy sensation by any stretch of the imagination. So there is that to be said. But we will overcome. Yeah, Corvosphere, the gift that keeps on giving. It's just... there are so many. I was using so they've launched an app now. I don't know if you've actually seen this, but we now have the app for your phone, which is fine. But like, so this is a profile for a unit in Warcrow. The movement is underneath the red bit over here, and on some it's completely obscured. This is what I'm supposed to play with, and I can't see my movement. It's stuff like that. You're like, oh, lads, I love your work, but please. We shall see. That was very frustrating. So there was that. I've also had interesting, so Heloise, who is one of the main hombres related to this stuff at Corvus Belly, commented on my video about the ITS 17, because I did get something wrong there about operational learning, that it's not 3+3. Those thinker, thank you very much, very generous, appreciate that. That's very, very kind. That I got it wrong. So I read that if you haven't seen this, certain missions in ITS 17, if you fail your whip roll to open a box, to boop a boop, then next time you roll it, as long as it's consecutive, you try straight away again, you get +3 to the roll. And then if you roll again, you fail, you roll again, you get +3 in a special die. Now I read that as +3, then +3 and a special die, so +6. It's not, it's just 1 + 3. Maybe they hired the GW dev team to do their apps. Oof! Strange attractor, there's no need to be rude. Damn! I mean, possibly. But, yeah, so I misread that, and Heloise went on and was like, yeah, no, you're not right. In fact, I think, was it you, Strange Attractor, that pointed out initially that I was, in fact, an idiot? No, it wasn't. Who was it? It was somebody else. Somebody else that pointed out. Blissful Badger, it might have been you. So one of you lovely human beings went, I think you've got that wrong. I looked at it again, I was like, yeah, I have. You're quite right. Anyway, Eloise popped up on there and said, yeah, you've got it wrong. I was like, reading is hard. He's like, yeah, writing is hard. And I asked him whether this particular rule was sort of a tester, because sometimes we've seen that stuff they put in like this has been a sort of a tester. Does this work for you guys? Can we roll it out more? Because I hate it. I think it's a really bad idea. I don't like it. I was very clear in the ITS video. I don't like it. I really much don't like it. Strange Actor. It was not me, but I can if it makes you happy. That's so kind. Thank you so much. Blissful Badger. Hey, I think it was you. Just noticed there's rules for them, but none of the missions have designated target or hostile HVTs. No, there's just, ITS 17 is very different. Anyway, so this operational learning, I don't like it because for me, in brief, there's a whole bit on the video about it, but in brief, it strips away for me the flavour of certain armies. Things like Pano, their shtick is they can shoot, but they can't think. So they're not good at these types of mission. Well, actually, now they kind of are, because they screw it up once, they go straight to 15, whip 15, which is, you know, you can still screw that up, but it's much less likely. And if you screw that up, you do it again, but with a special... It just feels like the flavour of that faction, the reason, the offset of their quality performance with the gun has kind of been nuked. It's kind of, oh yeah, but it's not fun, is it, to lose that way? No, it's a dice game. Of course it's not fun to lose that way. But that's how dice games do. That's the whole thing, really. So, to strip that away, to get rid of that as a concept, I think, I don't like it. It doesn't sit well with me in any way, shape or form. And, you know, I made the argument on the video, if you've shot at something and you missed, and then you shoot again, should you not get +3 for that as well then? Because it makes sense. Thank you, Prometheus Paints, very kind. Always happy to support Lowlands Miniatures. They should. They should. He's actually sponsoring the Warcrow, Traveller's Guide to Warcrow that we're doing, that whole series. He's actively sponsoring that. So you're going to be hearing a lot more about Lowland Miniatures on this channel very soon. But yeah, so I don't like that as a feature. That's not a nice one. But he said that they're testing it. They're not sure where it's going to go. Maybe it's featured, maybe it's not. We'll see what the feedback is. So I'm like, right, grassroots campaign. Everyone say how much you hate this rule. Tell them. Email. Just no. But we'll see. Maybe this will be a thing that stays with us. I just hope not. They had a +3 for certain specialists before too. Also, it's only certain missions, correct. They did have that. That's absolutely correct. That was there. And that, fluff-wise, made sense to me. I'm kind of like, yes, this, on supplies, opening a tech coffin, which is a medical thing, being easier for a doctor or paramedic, I can kind of, lore-wise, I can kind of make sense of that. But this blanket, you screw it up, you get better at it, just doesn't fit, doesn't sit right for me. And yes, it is, it's 4 missions. Superiority is one of them, Acquisition is another, I can't remember, there's 2 others I think. There is, but for me it doesn't sit right. I don't like it. I'm not happy with it. Especially because the response was, oh no, it's not just for this ITS, it's, you know, we're just doing it in there for some flavour. No, this is something we're looking at and we'll see what people say. That becomes a general rule. We're stripping away the influence of dice on a dice game, and that does not make sense to me. Not just because I'm a dice god, but because I'm a wargamer. It doesn't make sense. Not happy with it. Don't like it. That's the bottom. Yay. So, yeah. We shall see. We shall see what happens with that. But on the flip side, I'm happy that Corvus Belli are trying stuff. That's good. Iterating and doing different things is good. I'm just not convinced that that's the right thing to be doing. We'll see. We'll see if it makes much difference. Who knows? Maybe the satellite tournament will just say that rule doesn't apply. No. Well, maybe. Anyway, we shall see. What do you guys think of it? Are you happy with it? Do you like it? Or are you not a fan? What's the general consensus? I know that Neil, Three Men in the Shed, I know you're not happy with it because you said you weren't. I've called you out now. You're officially one of me. One of me? One of us. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Hang on, did I just do the clever thing? I did the clever thing of not bringing another drink. I got contacted by one of those, you've probably seen the type of thing that I mean, the companies that do like the gamer drinks. So you get the powder and you put it in the thing, you shake the thing up and you eat them. They contacted me and like, do you want to be sponsored? Why not? We're going to be having some of that because these moments where I run out of drink and I'm like, I need something with caffeine and sugar in it. Anyway. Neil, yeah, it sucks. Same reasons really. Yep. Great minds think alike, idiots always agree, and here we are. It's almost like a mini catch-up mechanism, and I hate catch-up mechanisms. Yeah. And it just... I have lost games, to be absolutely clear. I have lost games by failing. I think the record is 7 whip checks at 15 or less on a D20. So 75% chance. 7 times in a row I failed it, and it lost me the game. Them's the breaks. That's the game. It's a dice game. It's what you agree to when you come into it. It sucks, but it happens. Space Ranger, like so far, I had to use it already. My Koga Ninja rolled an 18 to get a supply box. The +3 didn't help, but I'm glad it was there. I hear you, but yeah. I still haven't played the game. Blissful Badger, honestly, that's your mission for this week. You need to play the game. It's a 15% swing. That's what we're talking about. Every 1 on a D20 is 5%. So it's a 15% swing one way or the other, but that is significant and removes flavour from factions. I remain unconvinced. Simple as. Simple as, but we shall see. This weekend we're doing ITS 16 because ITS 17 didn't come in soon enough, and our league is running on ITS 16, so the first time that we'll see it will be competitively, will be our November newbie tournament when it will be fluffy stuff anyway. Game of Drinks, is there a cyber chick on a shaker cup asking for a friend? No, there wasn't, not that I looked. I've been told, someone said, I'm not really sure. What? I don't know. I just looked at it and it was one of those things where like, that's really random. That stuff's really sure. So hopefully at some point I'll be on here with a really fancy like adult sippy cup full of chemicals. It's going to be great. If I start vibrating, I'll give a couple of you emergency numbers so you can contact relevant sort of peoples. Let's just flip claws like Malifaux since they want to make rolls dumber. Oh, see, Mike, I love Mali. I love Malifaux. I haven't played the new version though, but I love Malifaux. I think it's brilliant. If you're not familiar with Malifaux at all, Malifaux uses a modified 52 card deck, and you have a control hand that you can influence things from, and you can cheat and all this kind of stuff. So rather than rolling a dice, you flip a card over from your pack to see how things resolve. And it's great because in its most simplistic form, that means that over the course of a game, you will at least go through the deck once, which means that your luck will be, by definition, average. You will have every 2 and every ace in that pack over the course of the game. In fact, 54 cards because you have the 2 jokers in there. And it strips away that feeling of the dice are against me, the dice hate me, because over the game, it's going to be the midline. And it comes down to your tactics and timing and blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, it's awesome. And there should be more Malifaux. And I want to do more Malifaux, but Malifaux is as intensive as Infinity, and I only have brain space for one game of that magnitude. In any game, there's a winner and a loser. Yeah, nobody wants to lose horrifically, but putting in the rules that break the chances is poor rules writing in my mind. I agree, Neil. I agree. Larkbeard. XCB should have made a cup. They have enough pin-up art in their dark past. Yes, CB should have made a cup. You're quite right, Larkbeard. I would drink from that cup. Actually, have you seen the interview with me with Carlos when he's talking about scantily clad girls, and it's clear that he's kind of into it, and I'm really not. It's really, really funny. I watch it back. At the time I was like, what? No. But I've watched it back, especially the edit, I was like, oh yeah, you can really see that that's two people that are totally seeing this differently. I'm glad the pin-up era is in our past. Anyway. Hey, I cleaned up the 10 minis and got them primed. I'm working on it. Good chat. Well done, bravo. That's what we like to hear. Still doing with an hour of me that plays. One step at a time, Blissful Badger. Get beautiful miniatures and they will come, believe me. Chris Exton, so if you're going to go energy drinks, if energy hits you, root beer is amazing to drink, so. Yeah, root beer is amazing. There's lots of things I could drink, but no one's going to send it to me in the post. And I can be lazy. So, you know. We'll see. We'll see if anything comes of it. It's just one of those things where I felt like I'd crossed a moment in my career, in my experience of this YouTubey, twitchy, be more twitchy with those. Anyway, type thing, because a company had come to me and said, do you want to sell these chemicals to people? Well, don't know, do I? But it was kind of cool. I really like that supplies had to be taken to a specific zone now instead of just running off to the back corner. Yeah, Space Ranger, I think there are some really nice changes inside of ITS 17. I really do. I think they've done a really cracking job. And for me, that makes the things that I dislike more stark. You're like, yeah, that's great. This, that's just me. I think Malifaux is a good game, and I have never had less fun playing. I've never had less fun playing a miniature game. That sounds like a Malifaux experience, actually. That really does sound like a Malifaux experience. This is brilliant. I hate it. It was just not fun at all. If you're playing my wife, she's horrific at Malifaux. Yeah. Anyway, we all know that you sip from the CB cup. I do not know. No, hang on. What's this stuff? I need to do something with that. Yeah. Do I sip from the CB cup? I don't, although I am part of the, as of last week, I am part of the content creator group of Corvus Belli. That was interesting. We had to apply. I applied, we got in. It was great. They sent me an email addressed to all the other people that were in the group, so we know who was in there too. But yes, that's interesting. Officially now a NDA'd up member of the content creation network for Corvus Belli, which is good. It's always good. Got access to some stuff that I can't talk about. Seen some things that, and some other things that, and believe me, the next few months are going to be. But that doesn't mean to say I'm not going to criticise them, because my God, I'm going to criticise them. Because when they get it wrong, they still get it wrong. That's it. I love the quality of Kingdom Death models, but I cannot live with pin-ups on my shelf, and neither can my girlfriend. Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. There's certain things, there's a certain point where you can't... Sorry, official shill of approval. Thank you, Larkbeard. It's just amazing to become a CB content creator at the same time as being offered to sell energy drinks. I'm just an internet slut. That's just my whole thing. As I say, Only Dice. Look for it coming soon. onlydice.com/Hydra. Anyway, let's not go there. Yeah, I know what you mean, Little Stinker. We all have our lines, and there's certain things that... It was really interesting, actually. It's interesting the things that people kind of have a line with. And for me, pin-ups, overly sexualized miniatures, they just give me the ick. Don't get me wrong. boobs are some of my favourite things. I don't want them in miniatures in a way that is kind of that way. Doesn't work for me. Don't like it. I don't like it. Not interested in that. But it's not just that. So when I started the latest iteration of Flames of War and started playing that, when playing Second World War games, I tend to start with German. Don't know why. I do. Some of the vehicles I think look really cool. That's the whole thing. Stugs. I think Stugs look really cool. Flat Panzer. Hell yes. Anyway. But I bought into it at the same time as the D-Day book came out. So the way that Flames of War releases stuff is they release a series of books that cover a specific theatre of war. So we started with D-Day. Then we moved to Bagration, I think. And then Bulge, Battle of the Bulge, and then onto the Battle of Berlin. And you had sort of, with D-Day, I think there was English, American, German, and SS German. And I bought the German and I bought the SS German book. But the SS German book gave me the ick. I didn't want to, you know, they weren't nice human beings. They were not. They did horrible frickin' things. And in my head, I couldn't disconnect the historical reality of what those people that wore those insignias did and the content of the book. And I never played the book. I owned it. It sat on my shelf. I never played it because I just didn't like it. And it's interesting how certain things you can feel about, you know? You just, it's not nice. Neil, we stopped root beer at our Club Tux shop. Noted. Should I ever attend? I shall grab one. In gear, good to see you. Both, whichever side suits you. Good to see you. Welcome, buddy. Can't make changes from the outside. That is absolutely true. Glad you're part of the team. We are definitely. Sides. Painting butts is hard. Painting butts is hard. That's a thing. Besides painting butts, yeah. Coon, no. We're not doing. There is actually. Do I still have it on here? I don't know if I still have it on here. So there is a future that sees on this very channel, the ability for you guys to buy merch. I know. And one of the things that was designed for that, I don't have it on here at the moment. It's disappointing. Was an Only Dice t-shirt. I want Only Dice t-shirts that I can sell to you guys. And why do I want that? So I can buy one. I want Only Dice. They've got some really cracking strap lines that go with them. Anyway, so Coon, no, stop it. 3 minutes. Embrace the capitalism cup and drink it all down like a boss. Larbeard, that's cool. Thank you. Chris Sexton, woo! Congrats for becoming a CB ambassador. Thank you, Ingir. I feel like I think I had been for like 10 years. It's nice to kind of. I think the thing that's changed. So CB had a system before, which was fire product out to certain people, and I was never really 100% clear how you got on there. It sort of happened at one point, and then they fired stuff at us, which was great. But the way that the process kind of happened was very scattershot. I knew somebody that had run a blog and still received all of the stuff, but had closed it down 4 years beforehand. So he had 4 years of Corvus Belli releases, just send the post. There you go, review that. Thanks. So it was very scattershot, and now they've come together and they've done something very organised and structured. They're working. If you've seen the latest like how to plays for Warcrow, they've got Stephen Box, who is Vanguard Tactics from 40k. He's involved in it, which is interesting. But also behind the scenes as a new marketing director, and they're doing things a lot more structured and focused and all this kind of stuff. So it's really interesting to see. We shall see what comes of it. It is quite cool. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, Neil? That you kind of. I don't play the Nazis. I play the German army. You know, I don't. It just some things you have a line, and it's interesting to see what or where that line is for different people and for yourself. I had genuinely, I saw no issue with buying the essays book, but when it was in my hand, it was not nice. They still don't want you. I checked daily to see if Coney has picked up my friend request. Remind me, Neil, can you ping me tomorrow your Discord name? I've got you on there. I'll take that. Remind me to do it, and I will ping it to Coney and say, this guy wants to talk to you about doing great things. Help him do you great things. Do the thing. I should poke him on your behalf. Very much so. Very, very much so. Some people you just can't help. They just, it's not nice. Right, hang on. I need to grab a drink. Wait there, because I'm dying of thirst over here. I think because I've got a wireless mic, you can come with me, which makes this extra exciting. I don't even know. You can probably still hear me and all the rest of it. Dog, don't go in. Thank you. Look at that. I have complete authority over my dog. Right, Never Gamers. Yeah. Coon, they are upset. They are upping their marketing. They're changing their approach, which is interesting. You can see it in a lot of places. And my goodness, I'm back. No, her. Right. Larkbeard, she. It's not her show. You don't want a Weimaraner to give you a show of any description. We're not ready. Good health, everyone. But yeah, they have very much upped their marketing game, and you can see it in the approaches they're doing stuff. There's certain changes that have been really nice and really appreciated. So they've started sticking the new images of miniatures onto a white background. This is nice. Previously we had like fade, and there was a little shadowy thing, and then there was a logo in the corner, and if you wanted to like chop that all out, you had to do this, and airbrush that. You could just remove it. It just makes life easier. Behave. Neil, you don't know how to behave. Please. Honestly. So yeah, it's interesting to see. I'm looking forward to seeing what direction the content creation group and CB's marketing overall, where they go. That has been my day job previously. So I know the marketing, and it's interesting to see what they do. What a good doggy. She is a good dog when she remembers. She often doesn't remember. So, yeah. But then she is 10. 10? Yeah, she's over 10 years old now. So, getting on in dog years. You invented chaos. I would actually believe that if it was coated in LEDs and 3D printed stuff. I would believe that you had created it. So, yes. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do and what route they get. There's some things inside of CB that I really want to see changed, and that is one of them. That was one of them. Their marketing is not helpful by any stretch of the imagination. So, it's good that they're making sort of strident changes to it. Let's just say that. I haven't seen any cyberdogs in Infinity. I have seen bunnies and teddy bears. There are plenty of cyberdogs. We have one recently actually was dropped into Cosmoflop. They got very, very angry. Cyberdog. Yeah. Gibberwolf, that was the one. Thank you, Larkbeard. So we had that. I think Ronin, I can't remember if his wolf is cyber or not. It looks like it should be. I don't think it was. I think it's just a normal area wolf. But there are ones out there. You just have to know where to look. One model with a huge cat robot. A huge cat robot. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's the dog from the tag board game. Yeah. There's all kinds of stuff. There's an Alaf one. Is there? What Alaf one? Oh, yes. Andromeda. Andy. She has a wolf type robot creature that does guard, which is phenomenal. So there are you overboard. You're just not looking far enough. That's the issue, bud. You've got to buy more miniatures, because then you'll see. going to break down to you. I'm sorry, nothing else I can do for you. CB needs to change how they launch new versions of games. N5 and Warcry launches were like CB wanted to fail. Oh boy. So, I was doing copywriting for Corvus Belli at the point where N5 launched, just after Warcry launched. So there's a lot of stuff I can't talk about because I'm under NDA. You can't read any of my stuff anywhere because I think of all the stuff that I wrote, they used a very small amount, but that's a different story entirely. However, it's a really interesting thing, and we're going to go broader for a minute rather than zooming in on that one. There is something that I feel that most Mike, I see what you're saying. I'm going to come back to that, although there's limited amounts I can talk about on that one, but we're going to come back to that one because I think it's an important conversation. There is a problem that exists inside of wargaming from manufacturers down through stores, distributors as well. And they forget something, a couple of things that are really, really important. And I seriously don't get how they miss it so consistently. Because theoretically, they have the easiest job in the world. Because they sell cool stuff that we want to love, that we want to be excited about, that we want to get our paws on and go, look at the thing, have you seen the thing? And game companies as a whole have a habit of doing the equivalent of a cat bringing a dead rat into the living room during a family evening watching a movie and eating popcorn. They just walk into the room and go, Pfft. Just lob it on the carpet and go, you can do that? God, how hard is it? Apparently it's incredibly difficult. And like the launch into Warcry was really, really good, but there were certain points that were missed. There were certain opportunities that were missed. And like, because I did interviews with Hoopu and stuff like that around that time when it came out. Oh, thank you, Overboard. You need to buy more miniatures, buy more super chats, buy my sports drink. Did I mention I have merch? Overboard, I will never fund the movie if people don't, you know? You want the film, what am I supposed to do? You're a cheeky sod. Anywho, you're going to get one of those, and you get one of those for that. Anywho, for being funny, I'm amused. Probably. So, yeah, I think they missed the point. They missed the point that what they're selling is fun and interesting, and you should make these things that, and you should engage your community in a way that makes them inspired. And like with N5, we had it's coming later, and then you can buy Sandtrap now, but there's no real rules, and you can have quick start rules, but they don't really work with Sandtrap, and it's sort of there was this, and then N5 happened, and it was kind of like cheers, thanks for that. And then Warcry, when Warcry launched, the problem we had with Warcry is that it came out with a degree of fanfare, and then there was so much serialcast that just wasn't any good. The material for the miniatures, these beautiful miniatures that you saw, and you loved, and you wanted, and they arrived. I remember seeing that some poor individual, he got the wonderful ice bear, the polar bear, and the sculpt turned up with half of its face missing. It just had not been cast. How did you miss that? How did you miss that? It's just there. People have spent money. They want to be excited. And you ship them a bear with half a face. Also, Adventures was late Larkbeard. Yes, it was. it was supposed to be before and much earlier. Absolutely. There were things that happened with, yes, Overboard, the film is confirmed. It's going to have a very limited release. I'm going to show it to my mum. There were certain things that should have happened around Warcrow that could have given it a more solid launch. But there were many people that I saw, that I know, there were friends and within the channel and within the community, who either bought into or ready to buy into Warcrow, and then it dropped, and the material was just meh. And then after the material was just meh, we had, cool, it's a 250 point game. You've got 140 points. Okay, what can I buy next? Somewhere between here and next year. What? But I want to do 250 points. You can't do that, mate. You can't do that till sometime next year. I get the practical issues there, but that was a big issue. That was a real big issue. Most likely you're the last backer to receive it. You may well have been the last backer to receive it, Larkbeard, but that just makes you, that gives you the honour of being the final backer to receive it. So bravo, my friend. Good job. Those seems pretty rushed. Yeah, I can't, because I was in the middle of, or I was around, not in the middle, I was at the periphery, very much at the periphery of what was going on with M5. And I'm covered by NDA, I can't talk about it. But it was not, if I was to design the way that a new version of Infinity was to hit the market, that would not be it. For a whole lot of reasons. Yeah. I still don't get the whole thing. They missed a point with like not producing a physical rulebook. I get it's a living rulebook. It's been a living rulebook in many ways for years. But I was ready to buy the book because I have all of them from N1 all the way through. I have all of the rulebooks for Infinity is sat there on the shelf. I love them. I think they're beautiful. I think they're interesting. I like reading them. And then I was like, cool, take my money for the rule. There isn't a rulebook. Oh, but I like the rulebook. Even at the end of N4, I was still would take that book out and thumb through it and look at rules and be like, oh, that's interesting. And then go to the wiki and be like, how is it updated? How has it changed? Because you had to do those things. But yeah. America, it looks like the going rate is $10 per miniature. Characters have the GW curse of high value because character. Yeah, I mean, I'm in one of those positions with Corvus Belly where when they increase their prices, do I want to pay more for my hobby? No. Because what does that mean? It means I get less stuff. I don't want less stuff, I want more stuff. I like my pile of shame to be monstrous. I like it to be embarrassing. I like it to be the kind of thing that I just can't admit to myself, let alone to anyone else. That's where I like it to be. When the prices go up, it's harder to retain that level of stupidity. It's very disappointing. But when that was coupled with a move to Seocast, and I got one of the first Seocast miniatures, the Marit, and it was miscast. It's like the price has gone up, fine. The quality's gone down. That's not what I'm paying for. That's not the idea. It's, they made a starter set for existing players who didn't need it and did very little to help new players get into the game. Oh boy, Evan, yeah. Operation Sandtrap. How to nope the nope. Just, as you say, half of the material in the box was not needed by veterans, and new players needed everything that was in the box, plus something very important extra that wasn't there. The frickin' rules. I have the leaflets from like Black Wind over there. And it was a great little, I mean, the problem with those is you had that kind of 1, 2, 3, there's the rest of the rules, dear God. And Essentials is trying to redress that, but it's still not. Corvus Belli have a problem where they are the worst company at explaining their own system. They make this fantastic thing, and there's such a narrative about how hard and difficult and all the rest of it Infinity is. I beg to differ. It's hard to get into because Corvus Belli can't explain this to you first. Anyway. single GW Marine Harrier is 37 euros now. It's GW is at a point where I just find it sad a lot of the time. I'm like, come on. Really? The fact that you got away with screwing people just makes you screw them more. My childhood. Pile needs to count in the thousands. Damn straight blissful badger. That is the way forward. My pile of possibilities has its own postcode. Bravo, Neil. Aspirational goals right there, my friend. Outstanding. You've done far more to help onboard new players to F5 than CB has. Thank you. I hope so. Stranger Tractor, I hope I've done more. That's the aim. Larkbeard, it feels like a tiny team carrying a huge load of work. Yeah, but also they've got a ballistic approach to doing stuff. They're not linear in there's not a clear like plan. Stuff just kind of happens, and if they had this structure, like you should plan an edition launch a year in advance, 6 months minimum. Get your assets together, get everything in a row, have the version ready, have everything produced. Even if not printed, digital format, have it all there ready to go, checked, play tested, ready to roll. So the launch is just this taken off. And instead it was kind of here's Soundtrack, but we haven't got that ready. It was a confused mess, and it was nothing to do with the size of team. It was just to do with the planning. They're great at making a game, not great at launching it. I don't get why they did Warcry Adventures if they were going to drop a major system. That threw me off. So the idea was that, Mike, the idea that Warcry Adventures, and I've not forgotten what you said before, and I do want to come back to that because I think that's very important. Warcry Adventures was supposed to land as this board game that was the precursor. It was kind of the epilogue. The epilogue? That's the after one. There. It's kind of the start of the story. It's an epilogue? I think so. Anyway, I'm too damn tired tonight. So you're supposed to play that, and it introduces you to the world and the universe and certain characters, the players within it. There are initiating incidents that launch into the world. So if I remember correctly, the fog at the point of Adventures was only in that area. And it was events of the Adventures board game that revealed how it got launched into the rest of the world, and the good guys, Yaldabaoth, began their move across the rest of Lindworm. So the idea is that you play this and you get involved in this, you get engaged, you get your story, because this is a storied system, and then the war game would drop and you'd build. You'd build out from this world you're already familiar with, you already were invested in, because you'd already done this great adventure with your friends, and you had miniatures and that. That was the idea. And they got screwed over by their production company and various other issues, and it all went sideways. So, yeah, 40k is monstrous. Prologue. Larkbeard, yeah, that's the word, isn't it? Jeez. It would help if it would be really embarrassing if I wrote fiction as well and I didn't remember. Anyway, that would be really embarrassing, wouldn't it? Just put that book over there. Anyway. Their marketing is, I shouldn't say, yeah. Like they make the Sasha, a must-take thing, and then you can't get the figure. Yeah, Space Ranger, when they do that, when they're like, you absolutely have to have this thing. You can't get it. The thing that always will amuse me, for the second time tonight we're going to talk about, Tagline. When Tagline dropped, Season 8, for ITS, and in the box was Tony Makayeye, the character tag for Shock Army of Akonaspento. We had waited. We hadn't had a Tick Balang miniature. We hadn't had a Tony Makayeye. We'd had the profile. We'd seen the awesomeness. We hadn't tasted that cookie. You get the Tony Makayeye in the ITS box. Hell yes, here we go, because she dies. Sorry, we have the profile. We've had the profile for quite some time. you can give us the miniature so that you can take it away. Oh yeah. And there was the whole, oh yeah, but you know, Tick Belang's at AVA 2 in Shock Army. Yeah, but this one has Eduardo, the name of her tag, cut into the shoulder. It's actually part of the miniature. Still not forgiven. Still not forgiven, not for a second. But yeah, I got that. Yeah. Anyway, I want the next Diaphos to be the Defiance premium characters from the Kickstarter. You are a man of optimism, Mike. You are a man of optimism. That is not the model for Corvus Belli at all. That is make really cool miniatures, sell them in a limited number, and then never mention it again. That is the design ethos. That's why when people come into the system in 4 or 5 years after those miniatures have been released, they can get fleeced for €100 per miniature because, you know, you weren't there, man, and I was. So, you know, if you want it, it's going to cost you. Prologue. Yes. I'm an idiot. Thank you very much. There's missions with 4 civilians and 2 HVT each. No figures or even a token for them. Yeah, getting HVTs is an exciting adventure now, and making it that you need so many of these things. But then on the flip side, do we really want them to sell us a civilian and HVT box? Yeah, anyway. But this is the same company that sells you 3 miniatures with AVA2. Don't even go there. Or these Muppet blimmin' Yamabushis. Where are you? We have 3 Yamabushis now. I think we have 3 Yamabushis. I never needed 3 Yamabushis. I needed 1. If you wanted to give me a special edition as well, okay. I don't need 3. I never needed 3. No. Especially when it comes to like the where are you? Tanukis. So Tanukis, we have 2 miniatures for. The 2 builds that are the least useful. Why? I would rather have 1 less Yamabushi and 1 more Tanuki. My world would be complete. My world would be complete. Now, by the time you get your 4th army, you probably have 4 civilians too. Yinger, yeah. I don't know how. I have 5 or 6, but then I've been around a while, and I used to be able to get HVTs in a ballista, so that was fine. You just pick them up. I like big army boxes. I think they used to do this. They did. I know they are expensive, but it is nice knowing that this box and they're going to work together. Yeah, I mean, you have the action packs now, the 10 miniatures, but they're not. Sometimes I look at the action packs that come out and you're like, yeah, what? Really? Oh, okay, that was an option. What? And they often lack. So I find, so for an army, I find it's important that you have some high burst weaponry in there, especially when you're learning. The ability to throw more dice at something is important. But they frequently don't. There's frequently a lack of high burst weaponry in these army boxes, and it's like, well, it's kind of important. It's kind of useful. Anyway, I've reused some Malifaux as the HVT. That would work and be pretty. How were those older army boxes? Good, bad. Most of them are pretty good, to be honest with you, overboard. Most of them are pretty solid. There were the occasional one where you're like, really? Well, that was an option. But they were pretty good. Buy whichever models I like the look of, then just use the rules I need. Sometimes you end up there, Blissful Badger. Japanese. Larkbeard, you've said the thing. You've said the thing, and now I'm just going to be upset. Japanese Beast Hunter, that beautiful Beast Hunter miniature that cannot be used by JSA. Frickin' travesty. Frickin'. And then we've got the Kuninji Gillard people. No, thank you. Email have a fire team for years, but only 2 figures in separate expensive boxes. This is it. This is it. You get these miniatures, and you're like, right, this is really cool if I can schlep them together. How am I going to buy that? How am I actually going to? My favourite one, my favourite comedy one was, I don't know if it's still the case. I'm going to check while I'm talking to you because that's professional at all times. But it was the where are you? The reinforcements. Oh God, I've got to push the button, haven't I? Yeah, reinforcements. The reinforcements fire team for our good friends, the Nomads. So, yes, the Vipera fire team. So, I know this is niche as all hell, but go with me on this one. You could take 5 Mars Spiders and stick them together in a fire team as a reinforcements drop. Now, you could take 100 points of reinforcements, which with Mars Spiders costing between 18 and 22 points, you could take 5 of them within the points, and you end up with an engineer, paramedic, a heavy flamethrower and Panzerfaust times 2, and then a grenade one as well. So you ended up with some real teeth on the board in this 5 trooper fire team that just went boom on the table. What did you need to get that? You needed to buy the reinforcements pack, yeah? This is fine. I can't remember. I think it was Alpha. I think it was pack Alpha. Yes, it was pack Alpha. So the reinforcements pack Alpha came with 2 Mars Spiders in it. So you needed to buy 3 of them. And discounted. Oh, there we go. Let's do it in USD. So discounted in US dollars, they're $67 each. We can get them for about 55 euros in Europe. So you have to spend over like 160 euros or more, $210 if you want the 5 miniatures to build this fire team together. It's a phenomenal fire team. You've got specialists, you've got some real pounds, you've got some real teeth in it. You want to buy that? Damn. Get your money out. No. Spitfire as good as it gets in AP. Yeah. Don't. There'll be all sorts of upsets. I need to figure out what models for Tunguska are out and are not, since I'm focused on that sector right now. Tunguska is one of those really weird armies where most of the stuff is out. We've got Triggermen, they've dropped now. Yeah, we've got pretty much everything. The only struggle you may have, actually, is probably with some of the Securitate specialists. I'm not sure that they're around as much as they used to be, like the Securitate HMG. You may struggle to find him, for example. But remind me, I'll have a look for you. Mike, yes, you were talking about that earlier. Finding proper representation for yourself in wargaming. I agree. It's not, obviously, I glow in the sunlight. I'm as white as it gets. We're everywhere. Representation in wargaming is really weird. It seems to go from like just not. It's really weird. We have these advanced societies, and yet not any people of color or like Asian people. Well, okay, for Infinity that's not so much. And there's a couple of people of color within Infinity, like with the Morans. There's a couple of people in Nomads. I can think of one of the Alguaciles that are, but there's not a representative percentage, and it's really weird. And I can't imagine how that is. I can't imagine how that is at all. Sorry, I've just got a message in at the bottom left with "Fat Yuan for the win" from Larkbeard when I'm talking about representation, and that just my brain went, what? We're not talking about who he represents, Larkbeard, except possibly me. But yeah, it's weird. I don't. It's like the whole resistance to having female Space Marines in 40k. I don't see why there should be a blockage. I don't see why there should be an issue with doing that. If this community this community that we all live in, can be incredibly stigmatized. It infights sort of drop of a hat. My God, you go in and say you play the wrong system to the wrong person, and you'll get tooed at head height and get told how much of a terrible person you are for playing that thing. Playing Germans and Second World War games and stuff like that. We spend so much energy, certain elements of this community spend so much energy just absolutely self-hating. People judge us from the outside. My God, if I see another news article about there's grown-ups playing toy soldiers in the... Oh, God, give me a break. You know? We should be an incredibly inclusive and understanding community, and frequently we're not. And that's really disappointing. It should... I'd want more leadership from game designers, from game manufacturers, to appreciate that they have a place and they have a job, a responsibility to increase that representation, because we should be more inclusive. Surely we should. Surely we're better. But I don't know. It's disappointing, and I can't relate to it. It's not an experience I've had, Mike, but I can empathise that is going to be difficult, and I wish they'd do better. And if I ever create a war game, which there are thoughts that I might, we will. We really will. But yeah. Overboard. I'm an avid 3D printer guy, but I haven't found any good Infinity proxy models. There are a few sci-fi creators, but they don't scream Infinity to me, more cyberpunk. Overboard, I absolutely wouldn't suggest in any way, shape or form that you go and have that conversation on the r/Infinity the game on Reddit. I wouldn't suggest you go and do that, because I wouldn't say that there is somebody out there who was making miniatures for Infinity to be 3D printed, specifically for Shock Army and stuff like that, stuff that got out of production. I wouldn't say that was the case, and I wouldn't suggest that you try and dig that person up, because I wouldn't say that would be a great idea if you're looking for proxies, because that would be bad. I have one for you. A Securitate in a recent box I got on a card that's the same model. Huh? They sent through the duplicate of the same miniature rather than different ones. Very Corvus Belly. Yeah, Infinity and Mali Space Ranger they have elements in there that are diverse, but as percentages of populations in our current world, they're not representative, I think, and that doesn't help. We find comfort in seeing ourselves in our hobbies, and that makes it feel okay to engage with and to dive into. And I think it's a shame that, talking about the setting of Infinity, I always find it funny that you if you're going to talk to people about the setting, it's kind of it's several hundred years in the future, and humanity's kind of fine as a setup. There's no dystopian nightmare and everything's gone bad. It's kind of great. It's kind of awesome. So we have this really positive setting, and it would be great if people were more represented. That would be awesome. So, yeah. Strange Attractor. The people psychos on the internet and the people I meet across a gaming table seem to have little in common, but then I don't play 40k. That's true. I'm not going to put timelines around this, and I'm going to be discreet for various reasons. I was at one point involved with a group of people with wargaming, and lovely people, fantastic. Had a good laugh. Spent some time with them. Spent time working with them to promote systems and all this kind of stuff, and got invited into their inner sanctum chat. And in a very short period of time, it was homophobic, it was transphobic, and racist. And they were lovely across the other side of the table at a game. But when you got to know them, because the internet strips that away. It strips away the need for the social norms where you don't voice these things out loud. And I try and be vocal in my support for the fact that I don't care what you pack in your pants, and who you are and where you're from. You are welcome within this community, actively encouraged to be present at all times, because certain groups of people need to hear that they're welcome and need to hear that it's not a problem that they're there. And you get these communities where it looks sunshine lollipops, but if you scratch the surface, it's very clear that it's not. And I think we need to be louder. If you share my views that everyone's welcome at these tables, we need to be louder so that those people know that they're not okay, and they need to keep it quiet even in private. Those people got both barrels very clearly from me for that particular little maneuver anyway. Enough said about that negativity, because we're here to be positive and loving and cuddles for everybody. Space Ranger, if we only saw ourselves, it would mostly be middle-aged white guys. Yeah, it would. Yeah, very much. As Larkbeard said, for myself, fat Yuan. Anyway, I got 2 bards in the Kickstarter stretch goals instead of... It happens. Yeah, they do make mistakes, Larkbeards. They do make mistakes with packing. 40k does have a bigger pool of people. They do. It's true. Yay for another wargaming ally. I hope we all should be at this point. There's enough negativity in the world, and there is, stand up and be counted on the right side. Ice Spearman near. Good job. Well, there's lots of conversation going on about some very light topics tonight, which is good. I don't know what's going on as I just joined, but I'm working on my last soldiers for the Dutch Open. Bravo, buddy. Good luck. I am expecting great things from you, buddy. I'm expecting very great things from you. So we have the Dutch Bolt Action Open coming on 2 weeks' time. 8 days, end of the week, soon. Anyway, there's a big thing and it's going to be epic. And Ice Spearman is going to be bringing home the victory. Right? That's correct. I have that correct. First place, or you're not coming back. That's the deal, I think. So, yeah. Yes, lack of foresight. I'm still here. I haven't made it through my list yet. Abso-bloody-lutely. Is there even one black character in Infinity at all? There are some miniatures that definitely are. Characters, I can't think of one off the top of my head, which is not the same as no. Anyone else know of one? Actual characters, not just miniatures. Talking about diversity and allyship, hell yeah. As it should be, like a foresight. I knew you'd be by my side, buddy. Be positive. Is there a Blood Angel channel? I'm a Blood Angel player originally. That's where we started out in 40k in, Rogue Trader. So, yeah, Blood Angels for life, buddy. They are stamped. Takes zero effort and energy to respect someone's wishes and identification. Sick and tired of toxic BS and folks not being kind to others. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yay for allies in wargaming. Always happy to find another ally. There should be a movement. There should be something we should do about this. I'm so not going back. I love the confidence. I'm just never returning. If it's first place or I don't come back, I don't. Ah, yes, Larkbeard. Akita in Bakunin. She is a character and she's black. She is, absolutely. Larkbeard, bravo. Laxmi, Gata, those are also, yes, that's correct. That is correct. Is Pavati? No, she's Indian, isn't she? Pavati is as well. So that's 4. 4 is Gata, yes, I think so. Anyway, so there are some, Mike. There are some. Are there enough as a percentage? No, but there are some, which is not the same as a lot of other systems, but definitely room for improvement. Obligatory wind clogs, for God's. I was enjoying the fact we'd been like an hour and there'd been no clog chat. We had been unclogged from the clogs. Now we're back with cloggage. Lots of Asian Space Ranger. There are many Asians. You are quite right. I have spoken to Annie Norman about starting a UK Wargames club register of ally clubs. I feel like we should be having Axel Gather is Brazilian, so not sure. Okay, fair one. Larkbeard, you're on an absolute roll over there with all the different people that you're coming out with. Bachman? Who's Bachman? Who's Bachman and how have I missed a Bachman? Hang on. Infinity. Oh, Hexadome, dude. I mean, yes, ish, from Aristea. Not Infinity, but same universe. Not the nicest of looking chaps, but yes, Aristea has 34 characters. Yes, it does. So yes, Mike, some, not as many as there should be. There are quite a few trans people in the mini wargaming community where I live, and I don't live in a particularly trans-friendly city, but still very few other non-white guys. Yes, I had an experience. I went out of my territory for a tournament some time back, and I ended up on the other side of a table from somebody who was clearly trans, was in the middle of transitioning. And when he introduced himself, he was very nervous. And I can understand why. I can completely understand why. So, yeah, there are quite a few trans people that I have seen inside the community as well, and not many women either. It's so weird. Should we not want more players, not less? But it's good to see everybody playing. I don't care who they are. But if they are from a minority that wouldn't usually be there, then I would do my best to ensure that they know that they are not only welcome, but they belong there. That is their space. This is for them. And anyone that disagrees, off. And then when they get there, they back off again. Wish there was an international register, honestly, but honestly, Canada doesn't really have clubs the same way the UK does. Yeah, there's a whole load of places where that's the case. It's the community that I built in the Netherlands. We pull people in. I mean, the Netherlands isn't a big place, but we pull people in from all over because there's lots of separate little cliques of people, but no one really sort of pulling it all together and going, right, yeah. So we had people from that were sort of driving hour and a half, I think. That's right. Hour and a half, 2 hours in opposite directions to come to our venue to play. It's weird. The lack of gaming is very weird. We're up to 6 regular women players at our club and have 4 trans members also. Out frickin' standing, Neil. That is how you do it. That is who we should be. Every single one of us. Every single club. Most women I know in gaming are painters rather than players. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. My wife plays, and she's a hell of a player. I used to, when we used to play in the UK, if we had somebody came in, and there were 3 or 4 women that used to play in our group at that point, and if a guy came in and was like, oh, you've got girls playing, I would feed him to my wife. Like, do you want to play Infinity? Play against her. Slap. Just, ugh. They learned a little bit of respect and humility, or didn't come back. Sometimes both, which was a win-win. Besides, I started a once-a-month club at the base, but still nowhere near the same. Best thing I found is wearing one of the ally flag pins my spouse picked up for me at events. Good job, man. I need to do more. I need to be louder. It's really not hard to be a good person and open the doors to anyone that loves this hobby. Agreed. 2 hours. Yes, you do make the epic effort, and I really appreciate it. It's phenomenal. Oh, Liberty. So I have YouTube here, and I have Twitch over here, and over here there's 3 people on Twitch, and there's Larkbeard, who's continuing to list people who are people of colour inside of Infinity and the Infinity universe. I have so much love for you, Larkbeard. You're doing Hydra's work right now. Thank you so much. And fair, yeah, due to the location and it being an infantry training centre, the closest store is over an hour away, so we have some local spaces we get together. Yeah, there are so many challenges. When I was putting this group together, one of the biggest challenges I had was finding a venue that was sensible. You know, on our worst night, we have sort of 6 people that get together and play. And if the venue's like, yeah, sure, you can come and play, it's €500. Well, no one's paying that for a game. It's just not worth it. Anyway. Depending on the sport limit, for me, 1 hour 15 from 9, there you go. No regrets yet. Must let me win. He is a generous soul in that way. He is a generous soul in that way. It has to be said. No, I don't think he did. I think you played well. So, and you're always welcome. It's always good to see you there. Very much one of the bucks. And I do my best to make it so safe as possible, but it can be difficult. It is difficult. I don't see everything, and honestly, I don't know where. It's so difficult. You grow up as this person, this skin color, whatever, and it's so hard to. I mean, in first world problems, right? But it's so hard to see where your own privilege exists. That's the problem, and it's a challenge. How do you do that effectively? I guess you got to listen. I guess that's what you got to do. Any thoughts appreciated, Mike? Yeah, wear all the pins. My club hoodie has many. Overboard, a pleasure as ever. Have a glorious day. Have a successful day. And spread joy and happiness wherever you go. And should you play today, win. Lovely. Yeah, venues are hard. I'm lucky that my home studio space is an option for up to 4 people, but it's not really a good public option, and the space on the base is only available to military members, as is the best. Yeah, it's going to be a challenge right there. I mean, I can at a push host 6 players at mine, but again, you don't always want to do that. You don't always want to have that. Yeah. Agreed, Neil. Check your privilege often and with meaning. That is the way forward. That is the way forward. 100%. But on that note, on that word of wisdom, it is 11:30 at night. Tomorrow I have an insurmountable volume of work to do. I have got a walkthrough video to do for you lovely people. I've got to finish planning the video for Friday. I've got a whole load of work to do in my garden tomorrow, don't ask. And I've got to get ready to batter the lovely coon. Mike, hang on, whoa, pause. Mike, you did not derail anything, and that conversation is always welcome. You are always welcome to raise that kind of thing. It's a conversation that is important and I want to have, and this is a space where it can happen. And anyone that disagrees with that, fuck off. You are always welcome to raise anything that you're thinking and feeling about the wargaming environment, this channel, whatever. This is a place for it, man. You are always welcome. Always. Speak your mind. Please. Like Foresight, you did not derail. I don't really derail anything. I'm here for the chats. I'm here for the conversation with you people, and that's what I love. That's the joy of this. It's phenomenal. Hang on a sec. Got a buddy doing 16 people MCP tournaments in his home. My good God. That is a level of commitment I am not prepared to do. My good God. If I may ask, how much costs your current venue? The amount that you pay, so you guys get added, sorry, this is going to be very macro for a second, guys. When guys attend our club, you pay for your drinks at the end of the night plus €1.50, and that goes direct to the venue. I make 0 from the venue. I purely do it for love. There's no profit for me at all in the club nights, so everything goes directly to them. So yeah, it costs €1.50 per person per night or per day for use of the venue, which is incredibly reasonable, and I'm more than happy with. So a good conversation is just a series of derailments, absolutely, and that's often when you learn the most. The things you didn't expect, the things you didn't think. You know, absolutely. Yes, you did, Clogs, when an allied paint scheme, maybe. God. We're going to do Pride Month Clogs, we're going to do Black History Month Clogs. It's going to be freaking glorious. All the way. Money to charity. Outstanding. Good to have you here, Mike. Besides, when has Hydra followed a script on these live sessions? It's kind of, I feel that it's kind of, these live, this is the 5th live that we've done. And I feel these are kind of 50% therapy. And 50% people pouring their brains out onto a screen, and I'm here for all of it. It's glorious. Glad to see such good topics getting talked more about in the gaming space. I'll have to step up my game and make it public. Yeah, I think we should look at ways that we can do that. Maybe that's something that we should look at doing, like a foresight. You have your channel, I have my channel. We should look at doing this more aggressively and finding people that we can talk to about it, and ways that we can promote our allyship. It's important. At my peers, all good, man. We're all plastic crackheads here. I'm mostly metal crackhead, but yeah, I'll let that one pass. I'm chuffed to bits to always have conversations around diversity and inclusivity. I'm pretty vocal about it. Neil, you are a fantastic human being, and I feel very lucky to have you in this community, and so actively. It's always a joy to see you and your work. So, anything on Asheron's Falls? No! In gear, nothing. It's getting to the point it's a bit odd. But I will poke. I'll put it back on my list. Asheron. Oh. You're on the list. Put your name next to it. Ingir. I hope I'm saying Ingir right. That's how I'm saying it now. Oh mate, after the last one I dug out my Legion. Might be getting some of that content going thanks to you. Whoop whoop. I'm glad that I have ruined your content planning too. You are welcome. Welcome to the anarchy that is the contents of my brain. And heck yeah, let's spitball some ideas over that on Discord next week. Let's do that. Please do. Ping me up. We'll sort some out. Likewise. Neil, you should get involved in that conversation too. In fact, we should all get involved in that conversation too. Let's sort out a safe space channel accreditation scheme. Yeah, that's got legs. That's got absolute legs. In order to do that, we need to find people that we can talk to that this actually affects, though, meaningfully, and have those conversations. And Mike, you're going to need to get involved in that one, young man. We would appreciate your input. We'd appreciate you being central to that conversation. So please, reach out to me. We'll get that done. Hang on. I don't have to do in Plantaria. Hope to get it out very soon, hopefully. Cool. Good to know, Larkbeard. Good to know. Not far off my own anarchy, but yeah. Anyhow, I got to cook dinner, so I'm off to, mate. All of you, thank you so much for a wonderful chat. It's been a genuinely joyous experience and a learning one. Thank you so much. I will see you all again soon. Look for more stuff coming this week. There's a lot of new stuff coming this week. It's going to be brilliant. But thank you all. I really value these times and these chats. I'm blown away you get to spend that you want to spend time with me. Is awesome. But have a wonderful rest of the day, evening, night. Have a fantastic rest of the week, and I will see you back here next Monday. But look for more Dice God stuff coming soon. Take care. I'll see you soon. Good night.